Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live stream. Look at me in my Santa hat. I don't actually know how you wear a Santa hat. Is this right? I feel like a cat. I keep seeing this and wanting to play with it. But we are here. Last live stream before Christmas. There's, of course, a live stream on Boxing Day. But, you know, I've not got a Christmas jumper on, but I've got the Christmas hat. Like Santa Claus. Raptor Claus. I was going to say Father Raptor, and then that sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Anyway, here we are. I feel like I've got like a sweeping fringe. Back in the day when I had hair, I used to have a fringe that I used to do this with, but this is very fluffy and it keeps getting in the way. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And as always, welcome to the live stream. This is the Game Week 17 live stream. I'm starting to lose track of what game week it is, but here we are. You're looking good, Santa. Lost some weight. Thank you. I did try my best. Found a creative way to cover that egg. That's outrageous. But yeah, the egg is fully covered in. I'll tell you what, it's a bit warming here. So we'll see how long it takes until I'm absolutely. Oh, what is this? What is this? Is this what people with hair have to deal with on a daily basis? Can't cope, you know? Raptor claws, yeah. Raptor claw. Brett, that's clever. That is clever. Sweaty egg. Yeah, it's going to be a sweaty egg soon. Dear Lord. Right, we're wasting no time today. Here's my team. I've already made one transfer. If you've missed the content throughout the week, where have you been? But, yeah, I've already done 8 Nuri to Robinson. So that's confirmed. Yeah. Then that's it. I don't think I need to make another transfer. If I do, it will be Rodgers to AMAD. But then I have to bench Enzo. In terms of Cunha, I doubt we're going to get anything because it's a Saturday. There have been times in the past where they've done stuff at the weekend, but I think for the most part, they don't really work weekends. I think it sounds like there's a hearing on Monday. So my understanding and opinion of this, having spoken to some people a little bit closer to Wolves, is that because the hearing is on Monday and they have not heard anything in the meantime, Cunha will play on Sunday. There'll be the hearing on Monday, and then he'll probably be banned for the Man United game. That's my understanding. So, yeah. FPL Pickle in the chat. Morning Santa Egg. We were trying to work out what to call me. I said Raptor Claus, and then I said Father Raptor, and I said that sounds a bit dodge. Santa Egg's nice. We'll go with Santa Egg. Oh, no, everything I say sounds... Santa is a bit sus, really, isn't he? I was about to say, if you sit on my lap, I'll grant you a wish. And then no, that's a genie, isn't it? I'm not asking anyone to sit on my lap other than Pickle, but even then, it's a bit sus. Let's just move on. Start Rico Lewis or Van Heck? Van Heck. Yeah, I'd start Van Heck, I think. Good morning, Ross. Good morning, Kieran. Good to see you. It's too early for that. Yeah, I think it is. Dear Lord. This little thing is bobbling right next to me. Ooh, setting off my ADHD. Bench Enzo, Pedro, or Matoma. Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably bench Matoma. I think you've got to start Pedro because he's a penalty taker and his data's still really solid. I like the Enzo's on set pieces. Maybe you hedge your bets a little bit and don't go double Brighton attack just in case West Ham turn up. Yeah, I'd probably bench Matoma of those options there. When/if are you planning to get Jackson in? Yeah, I actually discussed this only about half an hour ago on Twitter. I can do it next week for a -4. I would love to know what you guys think of it. So, sorry, but you don't have permission to perform the requested action. What? What is this? Oh my goodness. Right, you're going to have to look at my face whilst I log back in. Why would they do that to me? They did that to me a few weeks ago on a live stream. And now... That is an absolute nightmare, chat. I have to go into my password manager, get my password. Now I have to go into the authentication app. This has not been a good start, has it, to the live stream? This has not been a good start. Where is... Oh my goodness. I don't even know where it is. There you go. What a disaster. Right, now I need my authentication code. I tell you what, FPL's testing me already. We haven't even had the deadline. Is this a sign of things to come? I mean, it could have done that to me before, couldn't it? Dear Lord. Right. Are we in? We're in. Right, here we go. What am I doing? Why did you put authentication question mark? What does that mean? Utter woke nonsense. Tell me about it, Charlie. What was I doing? Oh, I was showing you how I could get Jackson, right? So I do want Jackson, and I think ideally, if I'm to replace Cunha with anyone, Jackson makes the most sense. So if I do Cunha to Jackson, I would have to sell Sanchez, and I think the cheapest goalkeeper that I actually really like for this upcoming run, believe it or not, is going back to Henderson for this nice run of fixtures here, right? So, I mean, I could play Fabianski in Game Week 18. So maybe Fabianski in 18, but then it would be Southampton, Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, Everton, Fulham. There's some nice fixtures in this run here for Henderson. But then I still need to free up 0.2 million. It could even end up being more if I don't make the moves early. So, what I'm thinking then is I could go Chalobah if there aren't any more price changes and go for double Crystal Palace defense. I could go for Castagna and go double Fulham defense, or what probably makes most sense is to just diversify a little bit and probably go for Howson, who I currently have 0.1 in the bank for. So that would be, I need to really make sure I don't make the moves now, because this is for next week. If you've just joined the stream, this is for Game Week 18. If I want to sell Cunha and I want to go to Jackson, Sanchez to Henderson, Lewis to Howson, Cunha to Jackson, and that would be for a -4 next week. The other option I have, of course, is just keeping Sanchez, sticking with the Chelsea defence, and just doing Cunha to someone else. And I think at the moment it's probably Mateta that I would end up bringing in. I just like the run of fixtures. I like that he's on penalties. The minutes before the 59-minute sub were really good. He had 90 minutes several weeks in a row. So I think it could be something like that. The other option I have, if he looks good again, is Solanke. But I don't know. I've been saying for weeks he's just not massively it for me. He just doesn't seem to get bonus points. He doesn't seem to go very big. So I think I probably will replace Cunha. Of course, I don't have to do that for Boxing Day, right? I don't have to do that for Game Week 18. I could delay that and roll the transfer again and play a 3-5-2. But there are some things to think about. So that's where I'm currently at the moment in terms of getting Jackson and selling Cunha. No love for some wood. I don't really like wood. I've just got a bit of a thing against Chris Wood. I also don't see him continuing at the rate that he's been at this season. I just see that there's got to be a drop-off for me coming. I can just see a drop-off coming. So I feel like I've missed all of those goals that he scored already. Unless you're telling me you think Chris Wood ends on like 25 goals this season, he's not going to continue at his current rate. And you might sit there and say you genuinely do think Chris Wood will score 25 goals this season. I've just not been impressed with Forest from an attacking perspective. They've been so good defensively, like they really have. And I do think they'll finish well this season. They probably will finish. At the moment, it looks like top half of the table. I don't know. It's just not for me, Chris Wood, I don't think. Jason says, hi, Ross from New Zealand. Hello. I was actually watching an Instagram reel yesterday of a couple that did like a road trip around New Zealand, and it looked amazing. Would you recommend, Jason? I really want to visit New Zealand. Hope you've had a good week. I have. Would you take a -4 for Cunha to Isak if the only bench cover is Kluivert? No. Personally, no. The reason I say no is, firstly, I'm pretty sure that Cunha will play, and if he doesn't, Kluivert's on penalties. So, no. Give us the link. What did I just say? To what? I probably just said something that makes sense to give us the link. How would you... Oh, someone just said how many players are on 4 yellows. If you go onto transfers on the site, and then where it says sorted by total points, if you scroll down, there's a yellow card section. So you can just look at which players are on 4 yellow cards. Rodgers is on 4 yellows. Obviously, Jackson, Vardy, Darwin. In terms of midfielders, there are loads of them. Rodgers, Kluivert are probably the main two. Defenders, you've got like Van Hecker, Dunk. You've got Konate when he's back. Fabian Schär. You've got Ait Nouri. There's not like too many noteworthy players. Remember that this resets from Game Week 20 onwards for every team other than Liverpool and Everton, and it resets from Game Week 21 onwards for them. So basically the team has to have played 19 Premier League games for it to reset. So you've only got a couple more game weeks really to get through. Oh, and obviously Munoz just picked up his suspension, so he'll be fine coming off the back end. It then gets extended to 10 yellow cards until game week 32. So if they pick up another, so like if Munoz picks up another 5 yellow cards between now and game week 32, they then get suspended for 2 games. So yeah, the likes of Kukureya, who's already on 6, he's only got to get 4 more yellow cards and he's suspended for 2 games. So then we'll start looking at the 10 yellow card. The only other player which is quite funny that he's even on this list is Robert Sanchez is on 4 yellows. So, do you know what? I guess if Sanchez gets booked this weekend and Jackson doesn't, then I'll probably have to make that set of moves because I'll want to probably sell Sanchez. Although, I could just play Fabianski against Southampton. So maybe that doesn't apply. I guess ideal situation for me, which won't be the case for a lot of you, is that we get a Jackson suspension. Like if Jackson picks up his 5th yellow card, that's great for me because it means I don't have to think about getting him this week. I was thinking who's going to get Christmas off. Yeah, I know a lot of people do get booked ahead of Christmas. Obviously, they get Boxing Day off essentially, so they can just stay at home with their family on sort of Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Especially for those teams that have to travel. They'll be travelling on Christmas Day, so... Would you start Rodgers or Semenyo? It's a very tough one, actually. I would start Rodgers, just because Semenyo obviously had that hamstring tightness. Will he get 90 minutes? Maybe not. I feel like this is a very good game for Rodgers. It's at home. I think I would start Rodgers ahead of Semenyo, in my opinion, yeah. HRSHV says, Raya Fabianski, Gabriel, Van Dijk Hall, Milenkovic, Robinson, Salah, Palmer, Saka, Rodgers, Cliver, Isaac, João Pedro, Cunha. Should I get in Enzo? Any other suggestions? I wouldn't say so because it just gives you a benching headache. Like, because right now you bench Cliver. If you bring in Enzo, well, then you've got that benching headache that I have between Enzo and Rodgers. And I think Rodgers is fine. So no, I probably wouldn't do that this week. I mean, moving forward, I'd probably look at AMAD, Enzo, Sarr instead of Cliver. But right now, I'd probably just rock with that team to be. Merry Christmas, Ross. Merry Christmas, Kieran. Got 3 free transfers. Going to do Cunha and Matoma to Isaac and Ahmad. Should I do it this week or next week? I mean, it's great. It's a great entry point for Isaac, but it's not a great exit point for Cunha. If we're going off the basis that Cunha is available, which again, I can't confirm, but looks likely, I would do it next week. Because then it's a decent exit point for Cunha. You still want Isaac. Ahmad's got Wolves. I would probably make the move next week. But if you're really desperate for Isaac this week, maybe go for it. I mean, Isaac is a captaincy shout this week, really. I just think that the Leicester game is better than the Ipswich game. I expect Wolves could go fairly big here. Hi, Ross. Bench 1 of Ahmad, João Pedro or Son. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Ahmad, João Pedro or Son. Well, I don't think you bench Son. On penalties, the talisman for that team, you expect them to score. I think you bench Ahmad from those 3. I think you probably bench Ahmad, which I don't love because he's in a great run of form, but that's probably what I would do. Start Kirkes or Gvardiol? Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably start Gvardiol. Shaunak says, good afternoon, Ross. Good afternoon, or good morning for me. Having lunch while watching the stream. Had 3 free transfers. Used 1 for 8 Nuri to Timber. Yep, I like that. Should I keep Mbeumo and Cunha this week and roll 2? Yeah, I think if you've got Mbeumo and Cunha, next week is a better exit point for potentially both of them. Like, Mbeumo's got a home fixture. We know how good Brentford have been at home. Cunha's playing Leicester. I would probably do a similar thing to what I said before of just delay that 1 week, and then next week you can replace the 2 of them if you want to. And I assume you probably end up wanting to get from, like, Mbeumo and Cunha to Isaac and Ahmad or something like that. Or if you've got Isaac, maybe Jackson. Should I start Hall or Colwill? I'd start Lewis Hall. Yeah, he's just got the attacking threat, hasn't he? FPL Pickle says, I'm starting Rodgers, going against the Ahmad hype for now and benching Enzo. Wish me luck. I hate when we make different decisions because I think I'm starting Enzo. But at least you'll be happy as a Villa fan. I just don't like the early kickoff as well. That's the first game of the game week. If Rodgers blanks, I'm just going to be sat there terrified of Enzo. Whereas if Rodgers returns, at least I'll have the hope that Enzo could do something on the Sunday. So I'm gonna start Enzo and bench Rodgers, I think. I do think this is a great game for Rodgers, though. What do you think about Isaac captain? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I will run a captaincy poll. Good point. Going into the week with my worst team ever. I can almost guarantee if you're going into this game week with your worst team ever, you probably get a green arrow. It's just the way FPL works. I have never got a red arrow going into a game week where I've hated my team. Every time I hate my team, I'm like, I get a big green arrow. And then when I love my team, it's often like a small green or a massive red. Like last week, my team looked unreal. Like unreal. So good. And I just somehow didn't come away with a particularly big green arrow. It's crazy. What would you do if you still have Gvardiol? I would probably keep him considering the fixtures coming up. But I mean, if you've got no Liverpool, no Arsenal defenders, selling him for Trent or Gabriel doesn't seem too awful. I think if you've got Gvardiol and no Gabriel, Gabriel for me is the best defender in the game. So I would probably make that move. Right, let me do a captaincy poll. Captaincy poll. Right, who are we captaining then? It's probably Salah against Tottenham. Palmer. Chat, who do you want as the third option? Isak or Saka? Who are you more tempted to captain, Isak or Saka? Because I can only put 3 options and then other. I'll wait for your response. Isak or Saka? Oh, definitely. Wow, definitely Isak. Okay. No disrespect to Saka, of course. I know Arsenal fans get very upset when I don't talk about Saka captaincy. Just looks like Isak is a slightly more popular captain. And then I'll put other. Salah, Palmer, Isak, all away from home, of course. By the way, I was looking into some really interesting data, and I'll show you that right now. So, if we go Fantasy Football Hub. By the way, Fantasy Football Hub are still offering a 30-day free trial. Woo! If you want to get 30 days for free from Fantasy Football Hub, click the link in the description. Also, at the end of that 30 days, you can get 30% off if you use that link. If we look at team data at home, so at home this season, Liverpool are 4th and Chelsea are 6th in terms of XG at home. Let's go per appearance. So Liverpool 4th, Chelsea 5th, right? So they're both attacking really well. But if we go to, where was it? Goal threat, non-penalty XG, Chelsea 5th, Liverpool 6th. So they are fine. They've got 1.9 and 1.85 in terms of home data this season. If we go away, though, Chelsea are top with 2.06 and Liverpool are 3rd with 1.82. So these are 2 teams that are attacking extremely well away from home. So it wouldn't bother me that Palmer and Salah are playing away. Then, if we change to players and go to custom, if we look at non-penalty XG away from home, Salah is 2nd with 0.59. Palmer is 3rd with 0.52. This is out of all players in the Premier League. So only Haaland has better away data. If we then switch that to home data, you can see, and sorted by non-penalty XG, Palmer and Salah aren't even on the first page. You have to scroll down all the way to here to get Salah at 0.38. I don't even know where Palmer is. Where is Palmer? Here he is, 0.31. So, if you sort of zoned out then and you're a little bit bored, basically, not only are Chelsea and Liverpool really strong away from home this season, but actually, both Salah and Palmer have significantly better goal threat this season away from home. And that's non-penalty as well, so it's not even some fluked penalties chucked in there. That's all I'm going to say. So maybe, I don't expect that to continue, by the way. We usually expect teams to be better at home and players to be better at home. But they've done really well. Who have their opponents been? I've not really checked, to be honest, Frosty. That doesn't suit my narrative. Away from home, Ipswich United, Wolves, Palace, Arsenal, Southampton, Newcastle. I mean, they've been good, but they've had some tougher games in there. I don't think their home games have been much more difficult. They've played Brentford, Forest, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brighton, Villa, City, Fulham. A little bit more tough. For Chelsea, their away games have been Wolves, Bournemouth, West Ham, Liverpool, United, Leicester, Southampton, Spurs. So yeah, probably marginally better away games than home games. But still, they're performing well away from home this season. So I'd be pretty happy. Basically, the point was I'd be pretty happy captaining. I do like Isak captain. My only issue with captaining Isak is I just don't love captaining forwards. I would always prefer to captain midfielders wherever I can. That's my only thing. And I know that isn't really founded on much because forwards, like Isak was my top scorer last week with 11 points. So I should have captained Isak last week. But, you know, like Palmer got that 18-pointer. For a forward to get an 18-pointer, they have to get 4 attacking returns. Like, they can't get that with 3 attacking returns. Whereas Palmer gets that with 2 goals and an assist. So I just think the midfielders just have a little bit more in their locker. I just remembered the egg is still there. Christmas egg. Wait, oh, it's too high up. Let me bring the Christmas egg there. That was so funny. We might have to bring that back out later if the camera doesn't behave. Play Colwell / Estepinian and Matoma / Semenyo. Thanks. Colwell, Estepinian, and Matoma. I would play Matoma and I play Matoma and Colwell, I think there. Matoma and Colwell. That air has been a Rap Tier 1 member for 31 months. Or Rap Tier 2 member for 31 months. Either way, thank you so much. I have just seen that ridiculous super chat from Shazam. My man, you are just ridiculous. Just wanted to say thank you and take this opportunity to wish you, Pickle, and your families a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great few days and receive everything you need. Chat, when I say the main man, Shazam, I won't give you his real name, but when I say just one of the nicest people I've ever chatted to, you know, people that are just genuinely just supportive no matter what and just very kind. You know, you can tell from someone's like first message when they're just a very kind person. That is Shazam. Thank you so much. By the way, stupidly generous. Like, you do not need to be that generous, but thank you so much. Just ridiculously kind. Wish there were more people like you in the world. I truly do. Kieran says, my team at the moment is Flecken, Trent, Kirkes, Gabriel, Davis, Vandenberg, Enzo, Saka, Salah, Palmer, Semenyo, Isak, Cunha, João Pedro. Lovely team. Guess the defence is the only thing that might need a little bit of work. Thinking next week to do Cunha to Mateta and Davis to Anderson. Also start Enzo or Semenyo. I really like those transfers. I will potentially be doing something fairly similar myself to sort out the defence and to sell Cunha. Start Enzo or Semenyo. I think it's Enzo for me, Kieran. I'm a little bit biased. I like Enzo a lot, but yeah, I absolutely would be starting Enzo in that position. Bench one of Hall, Rogers, or Enzo. Bench one of those 3. I'd probably bench Rogers. I would normally say bench your defender, but Lewis Hall's got so much attacking threat and he's got a chance for a clean sheet, so I probably wouldn't bench Hall at the moment. So yeah, maybe starting a 4-back probably then. Storm says, play 2, Hall, Robinson, Milenkovic, or all and João Pedro bench. I'd probably bench Milenkovic. I know he's been good recently and Forest defence are great, but they're also playing against Brentford away. It's not an easy game. I'd probably bench Milenkovic myself. What are your thoughts on the new assistant manager chip? I think it's great for those of us that are in this stream right now. If you're in this stream right now, you will benefit from the assistant manager chip. Because basically, anyone that does planning, anyone that's engaged, you could gain up to like 60, 70 points from it. But I feel like it then alienates people that are new to the game or people that aren't overly engaged. Like, it is absolutely fair enough that you can just turn up on a Saturday and just make a quick decision. Like, you shouldn't have to overly engage with FPL to enjoy it. Whereas the assistant manager chip requires so much planning to play it well. So yeah, I think it's very high upside. I think it's great for us, but it alienates, I think, people that are a little bit more casual with the game. Like, a lot of my family members play FPL. A lot of them are engaged. But, you know, you might just have, like, it might be that you and your mum or dad play it and they don't really pay much attention. Imagine trying to explain, right, you've got to free up 1.5 million to play it. You can play it from GameWeek 24. It's more useful in a double. But actually, it's worse because you can actually use transfers on it. And if a team is placed 5... do you know what I mean? It's too much to try and explain to someone. I just don't think it should be there. So, yeah. I'm a little bit of a hater, but I do also think that there is a lot of upside and a lot of potential, and it might be that it's a really fun chip to play. So you never know. Chris says, "Hey Ross, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Chris, Merry Christmas, Chris." That was tough. Bench one of Gvardiol or Milenkovic this week. I'd bench Milenkovic and start Gvardiol. Yeah, I'd start Gvardiol. He's an absolute machine. I know Milenkovic has scored goals, but yeah. I'm just still blown away by Shazam. What an absolute legend. Ridiculous. I really don't like captaincy choices this week. Everton haven't been that bad. True. God knows which Spurs turn up. True. Isak seems fun for me. Yeah, but God knows which Newcastle will turn up. Newcastle were about as unpredictable as Spurs, to be honest. I also think that Ipswich at home, I think that, am I making that up? Let me double check that. I feel like at home they're just a decent enough team. But they're also very attacking at home, aren't they? Let me refresh this. Let me go to teams at home. We're looking at their defensive data, aren't we, really, here? Non-penalty expected goals against Ipswich, 13. Let's go per appearance. Oh, no, they've played 8, haven't they? Okay, so it's 13.8 at home. And then away, 16.9. So they are a better defence at home. But as per before, what have their fixtures been home and versus away? Where's the GOAT Leaf Davis? So at home, they've played Liverpool, Fulham, Villa, Everton, Leicester United, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. And then away, they've played City, Brighton, Southampton. No, they're fairly equal. They are just slightly better at home, Ipswich. And should we see our Newcastle better away at home? That's actually that's a point. If you're wondering what I'm doing, by the way, I'm getting nerdy. This is what I do. I'm a nerdy man. Non-penalty expected goals away from home. Newcastle are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10th best. It's 1.31 non-penalty expected goals per game away. At home, 1.55. They're 9th. Okay, Newcastle aren't much better at home. So Newcastle are marginally better at home. Ipswich are also marginally better at home. It's kind of what you would expect. I think Isak captaincy's fine. Why captain Salah, not Palmer? Because I think Spurs are a weaker defence than Everton. Everton have been defending really well. Start one of Matoma, Evanilson, or Hall. I'd probably start Matoma there. Yeah, I'd probably start Matoma there. Flecken, Timber, Hall, Colwell, Palmer, Mbermo, Saka, Salah, Pedro, Larson, Isak, bench, Rogers, Mikalenko, Johnson. No free transfers and 2.4 million in the bank. Any suggestions? I don't think you need a transfer right now. Right, that front line looks fine. Next week, Larson will need to go. Midfield looks okay for now. Like you've got Palmer, Salah, Saka. And Burmo's okay this week. I would say next week, probably Larson and Mbermo might be the two that you sell. So you downgrade Mbermo, upgrade Larson, or you just upgrade Larson to... Can you afford that? Upgrade Larson to like Chris Wood. If you can get to Jackson, which I don't think you can, that's an option. I would probably just be focusing on Strand Larson next week, but I don't think you need to make a transfer this week. Ronaldo. I'm assuming your name isn't Ronaldo, but if it is, what a cool name. Yeah, just on Cunha... Basically, the latest is, and it's what the person that I know that has a contact at Wolves said, is that because Wolves haven't heard anything from the FA, they think Cunha's available. And it's very rare that the FA do much at the weekend anyway. And apparently there's a hearing for Cunha on Monday. So if there's a hearing for him on Monday, they can't really stop him from playing before the hearing's taken place. Because, by the way, he's going to be found guilty. There will be a ban. But let's say there's not, well, then you've wrongfully just suspended a player that could have played. So I feel like they've basically got to let him play, and then they'll have the hearing on Monday. I assume that the hearing will be pretty quick. It's very obvious what he's done. And then maybe he might be suspended for the Man United game. There is also a chance that we get him for the United game, by the way. It will feel a bit strange if Cunha does anything this weekend to celebrate him scoring. Because it's like, yes, Cunha, well done for scoring, even though you've elbowed someone in the back of the head and then stolen their glasses. You know. Thoughts on Castagna with Tete out for 10 weeks? I regret buying Robinson. I'll just go out there and say it. I know a lot of people don't, which is great. I regret buying Robinson because I think if I'd have waited, I would have just bought Castagna. This is the issue with going early. But the only thing I will say is that I bought Robinson at 4.7 rather than 4.8. So it's 0.5 million. It's not the end of the world, right? That is enough to activate the assistant manager chip, but I would have probably gone Castagna, yeah. Do you find it crazy that what he did is managed by the FA and not the police? If he did that outside the stadium, he'd have a criminal charge. I don't think he would. I know he elbowed someone in the back of the head. I will just note, I think he should be banned. It was quite a light elbow in the head. He didn't literally like smash his elbow into the back of his head. He sort of like pushed his elbow into the back of his head, and then he stole someone's glasses. I don't think that would result in a criminal charge. I think you'd get a slap on the wrist. So I think if he'd have literally decked someone straight in the face, then yeah, that probably requires police intervention. But I don't know. I feel like if you do that anywhere else other than a football pitch, it's still not right, but it's quite soft. It's quite soft. But because it's on a football pitch, because the TV was on, because you're a role model, I think it's very different doing that on a football pitch, personally. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not condoning what he did. I think he should get a ban. Do you think Saka is okay as a captaincy? Yeah. I mean, Crystal Palace just shipped 3 goals to I won't say a second string Arsenal team, but it wasn't their strongest 11. Saka comes on and immediately gets an assist. I know it was an offside assist, but yeah, Saka could easily outscore Salah and Palmer. Someone just said, is there a chance of the Everton game being off? There's 60-mile-an-hour plus winds forecasted. What, tomorrow? Because remember that Everton-Chelsea is tomorrow. Let me have a look. Let's search for Liverpool. Sunday. What am I looking at? Where's the wind? I don't understand this app. Wind. I tell you what, it does look pretty gusty. Yeah, at 2 p.m. tomorrow, 55-mile-an-hour gusts. It is a little less windy than when the game was postponed previously. I'm going to suggest no, but yeah. Shall we vice? I might vice Captain Isak then. I'll just do that, I think. Yeah, I'll just vice Captain Isak. Just in case, let's say Salah were to miss out and the Chelsea game was postponed, then I wouldn't have a captain. So I've just moved the vice to Isak. In terms of what that would mean for me, I should still be able to field 11 as long as Cunha doesn't get suspended. So if that game's cancelled, I'll get Fabianski instead of Sanchez. I'd get Rodgers on for Enzo and I'd get Lewis on for Palmer. That wouldn't be ideal. With someone with triple Chelsea, that's pretty much worst case scenario, but it is what it is. It would mean that Chelsea have an upcoming double game week at some point. We'll see. Merry Christmas, Ross. Merry Christmas. Do I start Kulusevski or Eva Nilsson? Oh, Kulu's playing very well, but I think I'd back Eva Nilsson in that situation. Chelsea game's going to be cancelled. No, I don't think it will be cancelled, but it does look like there are really bad warnings for wind once again in Liverpool. Merry Christmas, mate. I would say I'm an engaged manager, but never focused on price changes. I now regret seeing people having Isak, Jackson, Trent, and 3 premiums. Yeah, I mean, team value is very important. I don't think you necessarily need to move early that often. Like, I've made a couple of early transfers in recent weeks, but I think what you need to do is not be stubborn when a player emerges. I'll use the example of AMAD, and I am being a little bit stubborn this week because, again, I've not brought him in and he's going to continue to rise. But if you see a player that is about to go on an insane run of fixtures that a lot of people already want, that is playing extremely well, that is at a cheap price, get on them nice and early. Like, I got on Cunha really early. I got on Isak really early. I got on Enzo nice and early. Who else was there? Rodgers at the start of the season, I got on nice and early. AMAD, I would try to get on as early as possible. These are the sort of players that they'll just continue to skyrocket because they're insanely good value. Lots of people bring them in and they've got good fixtures. Whereas I think if you're like really stubborn, like, no, I don't want to bring in Cunha. Like, I have gained so much value on Cunha already. Even with the potential price falls, like, he just gained me a lot. Same with Enzo. I've already gained 0.3 or 0.2 million on Enzo as well. I think that's how you improve your team value. It's just being a little bit quicker to react to new players emerging. Right, where are we? Thor says, update on the family feud from last game week. I am up, but only 6 after a balmy 34 points last game week. Wow. That is a stinker. I'm very sorry to hear that. In other non-related news, I'm doing the house cleaning this Christmas. As you should. As you should. I'm sorry about your terrible game week. Hopefully you have a one to bounce back. That is 6 points. That's enough to ruin Christmas. Boxing Day is going to be very, very tense. One free transfer. I like the updates, by the way. Thank you very much. One free transfer. Van Hecker to Castagna, or just play him and roll. Van Hecker to... It feels a bit sideways. Not sideways as such, but it doesn't feel like a massive upgrade unless you're doing something with the funds. I'd probably roll, and then if you really like the look of Castagna, let's say he looks amazing, then you can do it next week, right? Paul says, Ross, thinking of rolling. I have one free transfer. Would you do Davis to Munoz and Delap to Wood, Wisser, Evanilson for a -4? Leaves about 0.7. I would just do it next week for free. Right? Because Munoz doesn't play this week, and none of Wood, Wisser, or Evanilson are that great this week either. I would probably roll the transfer and do it for free next week, Paul. Unless you literally don't have another player that you can play, because obviously Delap's suspended, isn't he? Andrew says, Merry Christmas, Andrew. Play Rogers Semenyo, or play both and bench João Pedro. Play Rogers Semenyo, play both and bench João Pedro. I would play Rogers and João Pedro and bench Semenyo. MN Chuckster says, hi Ross, who would you bench this week? Virgil, Gabriel, Colwill, or Castagna? It's mainly between the last two, but having trouble deciding. Thank you and enjoy the holidays. I hope you enjoy the holidays as well. Thank you as always for the super chat. I think that's a fairly easy one for me. I'd bench Colwill. I think Virgin, Gabriel, premium defenders, threats from corners, they're priced that way for a reason. The two best defenses in the league. And then Castagna's just got so much more attacking threat, and he's got a better fixture. So yeah, I would bench Colwill there. Because the thing is, if Chelsea keep it clean, Colwill's probably getting 6 points, right? Castagna could get 12, 15. Michael says, hi Ross, love your work, mate. Thank you very much. Play one of Kirkes or Young. I would play... Ooh. Young's been so good, and Everton defence are very good. But I really do back Chelsea. I would probably play Kirkes. I think Kirkes could do a lot of damage to the Man United defence in the positions that he picks up. Yeah, I'd play Kirkes out of Young, but I think that's a close one. Dan says, good morning, Ross. Is Trent/João Pedro to Isak/Hall crazy? I wouldn't say it's crazy, Dan, but it's not a move that I would make. I think Trent and João Pedro are absolutely fine. I think you do want Isak, but I would argue that your route to Isak probably shouldn't be Trent, if you can help it, of course. If that is your only route to Isak, and you know you're going to want to do it eventually, selling Trent before Spurs isn't a bad time to make the move. So basically, if you're going to end up selling Trent to buy Isak anyway, do it now. Otherwise, I would probably just leave it and find another way to Isak. Hi, Ross. Would you start Evanilson versus United or Rodgers versus City? I would start Rodgers, Rio. Yeah, I'd start Rodgers. Ross, show the egg. The egg's always shown. I'm being Christmas Santa egg right now. Bits of the hat keep coming off, though. It's not ideal. Why would you bench Semenyo over Rodgers? I just really like the fixture for Rodgers, playing at home as well. Man United have been good defensively recently. I know that's crazy to say off the back of conceding 4, but that wasn't our first choice defense. Bayindir made so many mistakes, and we only conceded like 0.7 XG in that game. I think the United defense is improving a lot, so I would probably start Rodgers, because I think Man City have been weaker defensively than Man United, as crazy as that is to say. Young is the dark horse defender of the season. You're not wrong, Claudette. You're not wrong. He's been just slyly just smashing it. Why is every content creator overlooking Wisser? I haven't. I've spoke about Wisser all week. He was one of my most likely transfers in for Cunha before we found out that he's likely to play. It's just the fixtures, isn't it? And he's not on penalties, and his minutes aren't great. So you're bringing in a non-penalty taking, minutes risk, not in terms of starts, by the way, but in terms of coming off early, with subpar fixtures. But his data's great. Hey, Santa. Hello, Blackfinch. Have 3 free transfers and need to free up funds. Is Bruno to Amad crazy? Currently need to offload. No, I don't think it's crazy. It's one of the... Like, Bruno is a better asset than Amad. And obviously, if Man United get a penalty, you'll sit there thinking, why have I just sold Bruno for Amad? But overall, if Bruno to Amad gives you the funds to really improve your team, it's not a crazy transfer at all. I'd be more than happy doing it. Hi, Ross. Merry Christmas to you and Pickle. Thank you, Anantha. Have a dilemma. Should I play Johnson or Rodgers and roll the transfer, or transfer Johnson out to Amad or Enzo? Which one? I would say I would start Rodgers, but I would also be very happy selling Johnson to Amad and benching Rodgers. I would prefer Amad to Enzo. So in order of what I would do, start Rodgers and roll, sell Johnson to Amad and start Amad, sell Johnson to Enzo and start Enzo, and then start Johnson. So that would be the order of how I would do it, Anantha. Back to what you said about Wood. Are you saying he's been lucky and his performances doesn't match his output? I get this might draw criticism, but do you think his play doesn't reflect the results? It's a tough one with Chris Wood, right? Because I wouldn't say he's been lucky. And over that large of a sample size, you can say like he deserves to have scored a large number of goals, but he has massively overperformed. And my issue with Chris Wood is he doesn't generate multiple chances per game. Like Chris Wood barely has any shots, but the shots that he has are always in really good positions and he's converting them. I still expect Chris Wood to score a lot of goals this season. I just don't think he'll maintain it at the rate of 10 goals in 15 starts, whatever it is, because that's ridiculous. Like I say, he's on track for like 25 Premier League goals. And Forest are just a very middling attack. Like they're like 13th or 14th for expected goals non-penalty. So, I mean, he is on penalties as well, which is a massive advantage, right? He's going to step up and take a pen, could get a couple of pens in the next few weeks too. I probably expect Chris Wood to end on somewhere like 18 to 20 Premier League goals. Which means that across the next 28, I expect him to get 8 to 10. So I'm probably expecting a goal for him every 2 to 3 games, which is still really good. I just don't think there's much upside bringing him in right now, I don't think. Is Cunha available? We think so. We think so, but we don't know. He will be getting a ban. I'm almost certain of it. It doesn't look like it will come in time for the Leicester game. Hey Raptor, urgent, what head razor do you use? Oh, I looked at this before and I've forgotten. What is the name of the company? It's one of those that you hold that has the 5 little circles that you like that thing. I don't wet shave. It's like a dry shave, but it's very good. But I forgot the name of it. How long got to the deadline? Hour and 15, hour and 20. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Remington, that was the one. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Ryan 8 Nuri to Anderson or Castagna. I think I would go Castagna ahead of Anderson and I'd attack the upside. Who's a good striker? What to bring in? I do think Chris Wood is probably right up there. I think Isak and Jackson are definitely first and second, but they cost a lot of money. Oh, it's so funny. Lol, why do you have Robinson instead of Castagna? I love that. It makes it sound like Robinson's a terrible pick. The man that has 6 assists this season. Raptor, I used to tune in really regularly because I feel like we were always relying on last-minute news, but now not so much. It's just the early kickoffs, mate. The early kickoff this week is Man City Villa. Like, what do you want around Man City Villa? Most people aren't starting the likes of Rico Lewis. We know Gvardiol will start. No one has Haaland, and we know Rodgers will start. I just feel like at the moment, like the early kickoffs coming up, it might be that we have team news. I like it, to be honest. I don't think the point of a deadline stream should be waiting for team news. It should be giving you some last minute advice and just like getting you excited for the weekend of football. Do you know what I think people underestimate around FPL content? People are like, oh, what's your rank? Like, how can you give advice? The purpose of FPL content isn't just to inform, it's to entertain. And this is what people don't seem to understand. Because if the only point was to inform, well, then why would you listen to me? I've never won FPL, right? If the only point is information, and if the only point was information, I wouldn't be sat here with a Christmas hat on, right? I would be sat here just reading out stats. It's about entertainment as much as anything. So hopefully you just tune into the streams because it's just a nice vibe on a Saturday morning, you know? Does Watkins start? I would lean towards yes, because it feels like a game that Watkins would do better than Duran. But based on merit, I think Duran's been really good. So I don't know. I think whoever starts will come off around 55, 60 mins, and the other one will come on. Prediction game. Guess the week you bring Haaland back in next. Yeah, I can play that game. So I'm not going to bring in Haaland here. He can score back-to-back hat-tricks, and I won't bring him in. Unless... The thing is, right, this is assuming that Salah, Palmer, Saka don't get injured. Because if one of them gets injured, there's a temptation. I'm not going to bring in Haaland here. I will say Game Week 30 wildcard. So I'm currently eyeing up a Game Week 30 wildcard. And that is a very, very decent run of fixtures to end the season. So yeah, I'm going to guess the next time I own Haaland is game week 30. There we go. That's my guess. We'll come back to this. Triple captain Cunha. It would be insane if Cunha goes and gets like a hat-trick now, wouldn't it? Start 3 of Gabriel, Timber, Mazraoui, Kirkes, Davis. I would bench Davis and... It's one of Mazraoui or Kirkes. Predict which way you think the game will go. If you think Bournemouth win, start Kirkes. If you think United win, start Mazraoui. But I would definitely start Gabriel and Timber, Shaunak. Tony says, love the channel, Ross. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Hi, Ross. Start Rodgers or João Pedro? João Pedro. João Pedro's got the slightly better fixture. He's on penalties. I just think he's a better asset than Rodgers. Hi, Ross. I want to start Luca Dean over Colwill, but Colwill has double the clean sheet percentage. Regarding benching dilemmas, do you usually go with data projections over gut feelings? To answer your first question, I would start Colwill. But to answer your second question, I usually go with gut feeling. So if you've got a gut feeling about Luca Dean, I would absolutely start Luca Dean ahead of Colwill. But if you're asking me what I would do, when I would start Colwill, because I think the chance for Colwill clean sheet is much higher than the chance of a Luca Dean return. But yeah, like I just would trust your gut feeling on benching decisions. Absolutely. Like, projections are useful, right? But would I be surprised if, like, Lewis gets a goal and an assist against Villa? That'd be classic FPL, wouldn't it? But I'm never going to start him ahead of Robinson. So, but if you had this random gut feeling, I've just got a feeling Rico Lewis could do well in this game and started him, then you'd obviously love it. So, yeah, I feel like with benching decisions, I usually do advise trusting your gut. Rodgers to AMAD -4. Thoughts? I'm not even doing it for free, I don't think. I'm considering it, but I'm probably not going to do it. I wouldn't do Rodgers to AMAD for a -4, no. Play Kirkes or bring in Castagna or Robinson? I would just play Kirkes. Longer term, I think a Fulham defender makes a lot of sense, but I don't know. Am I that confident they outscore Kirkes? No. Why Enzo over Rodgers? I just think Chelsea are a slightly better attack than Villa. In fact, they're a much better attack. And Enzo is on set pieces, and his data's been better in recent weeks. So whilst I think Rodgers has the slightly better fixture, I think Enzo is the better asset. And something I try to do wherever possible is just start your better assets. Like, if you think it's close, and I think Rodgers versus Enzo is a close decision, I think Enzo is a better player to own and to have, so I just start Enzo. It's kind of the same with goalkeepers as well. Like, unless Fabianski has a significantly better fixture than Sanchez, I'll tend to just start Sanchez because I think Chelsea are a better defence. Can you talk a little bit about your lecturing? What do you deliver lectures in and what university? I can talk about that post-deadline. Post-deadline, I stay around for like half an hour and I'll discuss any questions you want. But I don't tend to go too far off FPL topic during the live stream if I can help it. Before the deadline, anyway. Scott says, hello, I have Onana, Gabriel, Timber, Hall, Robinson. Great defence. Saka, Salah, Ahmad, Palmer, Jackson, Cunha. What a team. What a team. Bench of Fabianski, João Pedro, Semenyo, O'Shea. 2.2 million in the bank. One transfer. Any advice? I would roll the transfer, but I would be tempted to start João Pedro ahead of Lewis Hall. Other than that, Scott, it's a great team. But yeah, I wouldn't feel fully comfortable benching João Pedro. I think if you're going to bench João Pedro, sorry, if you want to start that back four, I'd rather bench AMAD to João Pedro. I think João Pedro's great. James, he won't answer you unless you super chat. There you go, mate. I've just answered you, Ryan. I do answer non-super chat questions. I just obviously prioritise the super chats. Tom with the super chat, but no question. Tariq says bench one of Robinson, Trent, João Pedro, Enzo. Enzo, probably. No. Robinson. Oh, Robinson against Southampton. Yeah. That's tough. Robinson or Enzo? I'd start Trent because it's Trent. I'd start João Pedro because of the pens. That's a tough one. No Salah, rank in the mud. Cunha captain, send prayers. I wish you the best of luck. I hope Cunha goes massive for you. Cunha to Jimenez for a -4. No. No, not for me. Not for me. Castagna in for a -8. I would need to see the rest of your team, but probably not, no. Merry Christmas, Ross and Pickle. Thank you very much. Can you help me deciding who to bench, Enzo or AMAD? Thank you. I'd start Enzo. I'd start Enzo, absolutely. I can assure you, Ross answers a lot of non-super chat questions. I try my best. It's absolutely manic. I can't begin to tell you how difficult it is as the chat is like scrolling past. Still, battery exhausted. Oh, dear Lord. That's not a good sign, is it? My camera's just turned off. I thought I'd solved it. Give me a second, chat. Right. I'm gonna... I thought I'd solved my camera issue, but the battery just drained so quickly. Basically, I found a new way to connect my camera, but it's clearly not charging the battery correctly. Right, give me 2 seconds. I'll work it out. Sorry, chat. Hello. Egg time. Oh, yeah, egg time. There we go. Oh, for goodness sake. I was really confident that I'd solved the issue, but I didn't realize how quickly the battery would drain. I'm going to have to get an external battery pack. Basically, I genuinely think I've solved the issue with my camera and my computer. I genuinely do. But I think I need an external battery pack because the battery drains really quickly. Basically, you don't really care, but the way that I was charging the way that I was connecting my camera before, it charged it whilst I was using it. But the new way to connect it doesn't charge it whilst I'm using it. So I don't really know what to do. I don't know if this is going to work now, or if it's going to keep saying, if it's going to say battery exhausted. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. Because I'm now charging it and using it, so it might kill everything off. Right. Anyway, where was I? Pickle, get this guy a new camera for Christmas. Yeah, Pickle is a student. Pickle's definitely not buying me a new camera. I don't think anyway, unless there's a surprise for me. Pickle, have you got me a camera? Question mark. Bench one of Robinson, Trent, Pedro, Enzo. Oh, I did that one, didn't I? I still don't know the answer to that. Who would you bench? João Pedro, Larson, or Iwobi? I'd probably bench Larson, believe it or not. Bench one of Hall, Rogers, or Semenyo? Oh, Semenyo, probably. Yeah, probably Semenyo. That is such a shame. I thought I'd solved the issue. Maybe this will work, though. We shall see. I've got it connected to my computer through the new method, and I've got it plugged into my mains to charge it. Maybe this method will work. We'll see. But if it starts making my computer freeze a little bit more, then maybe it doesn't. Bench one of Matoma or AMAD? That's actually really tough. I would start AMAD just based on form at the moment. Start Fabianski or Verbruggen? I'd back Brighton slightly more than West Ham, probably. I'd start Verbruggen. Huijsen to Robinson or Roll? Howson, I think it is. I still don't know how to correctly pronounce that. Howson to Robinson or Roll? I'd probably Roll. JM says, hey, need your help, please. I am here for you, Jay. Thank you for the super chat, firstly. Very generous of you. Using my wildcard. Okay, Raya, Valdemarsson, Gomez, Gabriel, Robinson, Colwell, Kirkes, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Ahmad, Iwobi, Nicholas Jackson, Isak, João Pedro. 0.4 in the bank, or Trent instead of Gomez, Enzo instead of Iwobi, and Wood in for Jackson. That's extremely difficult. You basically need to decide who do you want more, Trent or Jackson. I would probably go for the Trent combination, because when I look at the upcoming fixtures, I just know that I would want Trent, and Gomez is a bit of a short-term pick. So I would go for the Trent combination myself, but I would also have Fabianski instead of Valdemarsson, just because Fabianski at least plays, Valdemarsson doesn't. Is there anything else I would change there? I would be tempted to have Castagna rather than Robinson. I'd even be tempted to have Castagna and Howson rather than Robinson and Kirkes and just save a lot of money. And that might free up some funds to go for, to still have a Wobie or to go for Ismail Assar instead of Enzo. I think you are basically there, Jay. I think your wildcard's very strong. I would just go Fabianski in. I'd be tempted by Castagna and Howson rather than Robinson and Kirkes. And I would be tempted to have Ismail Assar rather than Iwobi. Because right this week, who are you benching? If you have Ismail Assar, it at least solves your benching headache. And he rotates quite nicely with AMAD. So yeah, that's what I would do. But it's a really nice wildcard team. By the way, if you've still got your wildcard, you need to play it in the next 3 weeks. 17, 18, or 19. So, yeah. It's not a bad week to play your wildcard. If not, you can maybe play it next week. Again, not a bad week to play it. But yeah, make sure that you don't lose your first wildcard. You'll lose it in a few weeks. Trent and Even Ilson to Isak and Castagna for a -4. No. If it was for free, I'd be tempted. I don't like selling Trent for a -4. It might pay off this week, but in the long term, I don't know, maybe. Maybe. It is a good entry point for Isak and Even Ilson. Do you know what, Tom? As far as -4s go, it's not awful, but I probably wouldn't do it. James says, Saliba, Trent, Hall, Robinson, Enzo. 1-2 drop, please. So you need to bench one of them. Oh, that's tough. Well, I wouldn't bench Saliba. I wouldn't bench Robinson. Honestly, I wouldn't bench Trent, really. It's Hall or Enzo. Maybe you start Lewis Hall and bench Enzo. Hall's also taking set pieces. Yeah, maybe. Oh, that's tough. I'd probably bench Enzo. Maybe Hall. Enzo or Hall. Are you making plans to put Haaland back in? No, we just discussed this. I'm probably not buying Haaland until game week 30. Unless, if Haaland literally goes back to getting 2 or 3 goals every week and City are absolutely smashing teams, then maybe I need to. I think the only way that I would buy Haaland soon is if Salah, Saka, or Palmer get injured. Like, if Palmer picks up an injury, there is the possibility to do something like Palmer, Cunha, and Trent to Haaland, AMAD, and then a defender. I think that works. Like, it would be something like this. But I wouldn't do this unless there was a Palmer injury or anything like that. But it would be like AMAD in here. Haaland in here. You start to realise how expensive Haaland is when you try and actually bring him back in. And it's just an absolute nightmare. And then Trent to... I don't know who it would be. Kukurea. Any cheap defender, basically. Like, that would be my only route to Haaland. But then I've then got a midfield of Rodgers, Enzo, AMAD. Like, even then, I still don't really like it. So... basically, I'm probably not going to own Haaland until I next wildcard. Because I think on a wildcard, apologies, you can really redistribute the funds. Like, you can really think about what is the best way to have him in my team. I still think probably one of Salah and Haaland's the best structure. And obviously, I'm going to have Salah over Haaland at the moment. Sorry, Ross, I didn't mean to upset you. Come back, I love you. I love you too. It's okay. It's okay. It's all forgotten. It's all forgiven. Where was I? AMAD for Bowen for a -4. No. No, I wouldn't sell Bowen for a -4. Bowen's got 2 really good fixtures coming up. I just play Bowen in both of those. Hamoudi with the super chat, but no message. Sorry. Dennis says, yo, Mazraoui, Wan-Bissaka, Aina, AMAD, Mbeumo, Palmer, Salah, Haaland, Pedro, and Cunha. My bench is Rodgers, Van den Berg, Nuri. Still rocking Haaland, thinking it will change. Yeah, we just spoke about that. Time to make room for Saka, Isak, and Gabriel. Yeah, you've absolutely got to sell Haaland there. I think that bench is a bit of a mess. And as you say, no Saka, no Isak, no Arsenal defence. As much as Haaland could go massive, in that situation, yeah, I think you've got to bin off Haaland. Because Saka and Isak are brilliant. Gabriel's amazing. That bench of... Sorry, that defence of Mazraoui, Wan-Bissaka, Van den Berg, Nuri, even Ola Reina, like, that really needs an upgrade overall. So, yeah. It's not a bad team, by the way, Dennis, but I just think selling Haaland will just make your team infinitely better. And the thing is, right now, so few people own Haaland, and you might see this as a reason to keep him, but it doesn't even punish you. Like, I genuinely can watch a Man City game now. I'll watch the early kickoff and have absolutely no issues having no Haaland. Like, normally you'd be so nervous, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, I'm really nervous going into this game week without Haaland. By the way, if you're watching this and you've not dropped a like, could you please drop a like? There are 2,000 people watching right now that haven't liked the stream. It really helps to sort of spread it out a little bit. And also make sure to subscribe. I'm actually only 100 subscribers away from 141,000. Actually, we're only 49 away now. 49 subscribers away from 141,000. So please smash that like. And more importantly, make sure to subscribe as well. Haaland is good after game week 25. I disagree. What do you like about the... Unless I've Wait, let me see. I might have misremembered their fixtures. Haaland's horrible here. That is a horrible 4 fixtures for Haaland. I think the best time to own Haaland is 30 onwards, which is when, again, game week 30 will be a really popular wildcard window. Or on the game week 29 free hit. Game week 29 looks like it's going to be a disgusting blank game week. Just to tell you what that blank game week is, by the way, let me... was it FPL Spaceman? Was he the one that... Spaceman. I hate that you can't search correctly for people on... was this the guy that posted it? Oh, he's on Blue Sky now. I was like, where did I see it? Do I get up Blue Sky and go through all that? I'm going to bloody have to, aren't I? There's too many apps. There's too many apps to think about now. FPL Spaceman. What is his name on it? I can't remember. Oh, do you know what? I give up. I give up trying to search for people on different feeds. Maybe did Praz retweet someone that tweeted it? Oh, do you know what? I just can't be bothered. There's too many apps. You search for people's names. Okay, here it was. We got there in the end. Okay, I'll leave it like that. So these are the predicted blanks for game week 29. So basically, there's a 35% chance that it will be Arsenal, Chelsea, Villa, and Liverpool all blanking in game week 29. And there's a 27% chance, which wouldn't make it much better for a lot of our teams, that it's Arsenal, Chelsea, Fulham, and Spurs. I think best case scenario, which, by the way, considering our transfer plans isn't really best case scenario, would probably be Newcastle, Palace, Fulham, Spurs. But as of right now, I've got Isak. I plan on owning Munoz, maybe Henderson, maybe Sarr. I've got Robinson. I might bring in a midfield. I'm probably looking at having best case scenario, like 4 or 5 blankers here. So, and that's best case scenario, right? But likely, we're going to see a blank for Arsenal and Chelsea, and then it'll be one of the others. So it's probably going to be that top option. So, yeah, game week 29 blank's going to be interesting to deal with. But we'll deal with that the closer we get to that situation. But yeah, Haaland on a free hit as our captain might be a possibility. If you've got the likes of Salah, Palmer, Saka all not playing, it probably will be Haaland captain on the free hit, which will be fun. Last year, we free hit in 29 because the big boys blanked and it completely backfired. Yeah, but the issue with last year, Frosty, in 29 was that lots of teams blanked. So we were choosing players from like Luton. This season, there's only 4 teams blanking. And you've still got access to the likes of Newcastle, Man United, probably Spurs, Villa, Man City. You've still got teams to attack that are good. So I think free hit 29 or free hit 34, by the way, because 34 is also going to be a blank game week. But I think the free hit will be useful in a blank game week this season. BT5991 says Colwell or Rogers. But my head hurts when I switch. If I switch Haaland and he starts to produce, then I'm a very sad Norwegian. But as you say, maybe it's not a big loss. The thing is, if you keep Haaland, you need Haaland to be your captain. Otherwise, it makes no sense keeping him at that price. So, if you are happy to keep and captain Haaland every week, do it. But the thing is, like, even if Haaland produces, as long as Isak, Saka, and the other player you bring in produce as well, then you're probably still going to outscore the Haaland draft. I would say you basically need Haaland to go absolutely nuclear every week to justify him at the moment. And he's not going to do that, I don't think. Because even if he goes big in 1 or 2 weeks, and then he blanks in a couple, well, then you're still probably not better off overall. Raptor, bench one of Hall, Matoma, or Cunha? Well, it definitely wouldn't be Cunha. It'd be Hall or Matoma. I would probably bench Lewis Hall and start Matoma. But I think that's close. Start Anderson, Lewis, or Davis this week. Anderson. I'd start Anderson. If we learn that Lewis starts, play him or Van Hecker. I'd still probably play Van Hecker. Yeah, I'd probably still play Van Hecker. Rodgers or Johnson, says Ryan. Rodgers. I would say Rodgers. Mohammed says, out Rodgers and Semenyo in. AMAD and Enzo or Iwobi. You want to bring in... I won't bring in Semenyo. I'm a bit confused by the question. AMAD and Enzo or Iwobi. Oh, I see what you're saying. Rodgers and Semenyo. Okay, AMAD, Enzo. I don't know that I'd be switching around the budget midfielders this week that desperately. I'd probably just keep whichever budget midfielder you've got. That's the position that I've left myself in. I think I'm just happy having Rodgers and Enzo for now. Mark says, hi Ross, hope you're well. I'm doing well, thank you. Already made 2 free transfers for Aitnuri Cunha to Robinson Wood. Okay. Debating taking a -4 to bring AMAD in for Dibbling. What are your thoughts? It depends who you're benching, right? If you're doing Dibbling to AMAD, who does that mean you bench? Because if you're taking a -4 to do AMAD in for Dibbling, but it means benching Enzo, then it's probably not worth the -4. But if you're benching like Semenyo to do it, then maybe it's a little bit more tempting. Hey Ross, Merry Christmas. Start Davis versus Newcastle or Mikalenko versus Chelsea, both playing at home. Thank you. I'd probably start Leaf Davis, honestly. Lewis Hall not starting, question mark? I think he will. I'm pretty sure he will. Unless I've missed something. Yeah, I think he's fine. Has to be something in Haaland saying stay humble to Arteta, then immediate capitulation. I don't know that I buy into that, but do you know what? I was actually reading last night. There were so many things that were applicable to FPL. Let me show you the book. I'm reading this book at the moment. It's by the guy that wrote The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. And it was saying that the most successful people often are the people that are very successful. The best features about them often also make them become the worst features, if that makes sense. Morgan Housel words it much better. But do you know what I was thinking? What makes Haaland so good is what is probably making Haaland so bad right now, which is that he's got a massive ego and that he's extremely overconfident. And I think that means that when he goes on a bit of a dry run, it probably affects his mentality more so than other players. Whereas, you know, those players that don't get too excited when they go on a good run, they probably don't get too beat down when they go on a bad run. So I think what I've learned from this is potentially what makes Haaland so good is what is making him so bad right now. The personality aspects of what makes Haaland elite is what is causing him to struggle in this moment, I would imagine. Start AMAD or João Pedro? João Pedro. With stats and with my just opinion. I also think he's a penalty taker. So that's always an advantage. Do you think Rico Lewis will start? I think he'll start, but we don't know yet. We've had no early team news. Raptor, Mazraoui, Enzo, or Rodgers. Who should I play? I would probably say Enzo, Rodgers, Mazraoui in that order. Bench Semenyo or Strand Larsen? I'd bench Semenyo and start Strand Larsen. Pickford or Flappy? I would probably start... I'd still back the better fixture. I'd start Fabianski, but Pickford's playing for the much better defence at the moment. AG has been a member for 37 months. Wow. Says, hey Ross, Haaland to Isak and Rodgers or Iwobi to Saka is my plan. Debating whether to start Lewis or sell him for Robinson and have 3 free transfers. Haaland to Isak and Rodgers or Iwobi to Saka. Yeah, I'd probably do Haaland to Isak, Rodgers to Saka. I like that. Lewis to Robinson. I would probably do it. I'd get it done. Like, you'd much rather own Robinson than Lewis. I'd probably be tempted to get it done. Although I would also be tempted to go for Castagna at this point. I feel like if you've not already brought in Robinson, probably would go Castagna. The book reference was super geeky. I am literally the biggest nerd ever, to be honest. Starting Rodgers over Enzo is tempting. It really is. It really is. I'm probably going to end up regretting it. I just back Chelsea as an attack at the moment. John says, hi mate, what do you think? Delap to Jimenez, Smith Rowe to AMAD, and Robinson to Castagna all for free. I wouldn't do the Robinson move. I was going to say unless you need the money, but you shouldn't need the money. I would just do Delap to him and as a Smith Rowe to Ahmad. I think Robinson to Castagna is highly unnecessary at the moment, unless you need to free up funds. But even if you need to free up funds, I wouldn't be selling Robinson for Castagna. I would probably choose Castagna now, but I wouldn't sell Robinson to him. Start Anderson or Gusto. That's a tough one. I'd probably start Gusto. Hi, Ross. 1 free transfer and 0.1 million in the bank. Thinking of going Veltman to Castagna or Strand Larsen to Rao. Could also go Semenyo to Rodgers. What are your thoughts? I think Veltman to Castagna is probably the best transfer of the bunch there. I don't mind Semenyo to Ahmad or Enzo. I wouldn't be selling Semenyo for Rodgers now. I don't think so. Joshy Boy says, made my FPL transfer, now heading out to watch my beloved Imps. Imps? What are Imps? Is that a team? Very confused. I've Googled Imps and it is Mischievous Devil or Sprite and then immediate payment services. Don't think that's it. Don't know what that is, but there we go. Merry Christmas, Ross. Merry Christmas, Joshua Boy. It's probably a team, isn't it? And I don't know what team that is. There we go. Starting Flecken or Fabianski. I'd go Flecken this week, I think. I'd go Flecken this week. Whoa. Oh, Leighton Orient. Okay. Leighton Orient. There we go. Lincoln. Oh, Lincoln. Lincoln City. There we go. Sorry, Lincoln City. I didn't know their nickname. Sorry for that. I'm sorry, I was distracted. There have been 10 gifted memberships by MN Chuckster. Big shout out. What a legend. 10 gifted memberships. Zubin, Saidbin, V Midnight, Manesh, Ahmed, PSV, Fraser, Callum, Matthew, Treble. You have all been gifted a membership by MN Chuckster. If you type in the chat now, you'll have a little badge next to your name. That's insane. 10 gifted memberships. What an absolute legend. It's crazy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wow. Fair play. What a legend. Hey, Ross, who would you bench between Rodgers and Ahmad? I think I want to play Rodgers with how bad City is at the moment. Also, good luck this week. Thank you very much. That's absolutely fine if you want to do that. I would start Ahmad, but I would trust your gut feeling more than anything. Yeah, what a legend that is. Make sure that you have, I don't know where it is in the settings, Google it, but there is a setting to make sure that you can receive gifted memberships. So if anyone in the future, which might not happen, but if anyone in the future gifts more memberships, you just need to make sure you've got that setting turned on to allow you to receive it. It's crazy. Jim says, hi, Ross, 95k overall. Great season for you, Jim. 3 moves made and a -4. 8 Nuri to Robinson, Cunha to Wood, and Semenyo to Ahmad. I did think Cunha was banned. Sadly, he's not. Well, he probably should be banned. I still don't mind those moves overall, mate. They're still a really nice set of moves. Yeah, you should probably still be up on those transfers overall, I'd say. Bench one of Hall, João Pedro, Rodgers, and why? I'd probably bench Rodgers because I think João Pedro's on pens, great data. Hall is on set pieces and has a great fixture. Rodgers doesn't have a bad fixture, but he's just been a little bit disappointing recently. I would bench one of Hall or Rodgers probably in that position. Is this your final team for this week? Yeah, probably. Speaking of, I need to actually screenshot the team before I forget. Because I probably will forget, let's be honest. Yeah, I think this is the final team. Ross, I've got the same exact team as you. Should I start Enzo or Rodgers? Well, I mean, I don't need to answer that because I'm starting Enzo. So I think Enzo, but it's close. It's very close. Bench Enzo or João Pedro? I'd bench Enzo in that position. What do you think of Isaac captaincy? Yeah, I mean, he's my vice captain. I think he's a very good captaincy option this week with the way he's playing. I just think Salah is just so good. Did you save your vice captain? Yeah, thank you, Frosty. It's a great point. I did. Hopefully, I won't need it. But yeah, I did save it. Rodgers or even Ilson to start? I'd be tempted by Rodgers. Bench Hall or Colwill? I would start Lewis Hall and bench Colwill, for sure. Hi, Ross. How about Cunha captain go out with a bang? I just think new manager, there could be a new manager bounce, but there's also a lot of unknowns. Like apparently Cunha's going to play on the wing, but inverting in a similar sort of position to what we've seen from like Ahmad and Bruno. which might suit him. There might also be a betting in period. Do you remember Amarim's first game for Manchester United for Manchester United against Ipswich? It was 1-1, right? So it might be that Wolves just have a bit of time getting used to the new style. Palmer has a better fixture. I would disagree. I think Palmer's got the most difficult fixture of Salah, Palmer, and Isak. Why are you starting Enzo over Rodgers? Chelsea are a better attack. Enzo's on set pieces. He's been playing a lot better recently than Rodgers from an FPL perspective. I think it is very close, by the way. I think it is very close. Yeah, we might get some early team news potentially. I do want to start Rodgers. I just think Enzo's amazing. I've just seen this quote. Sorry, I was just on Twitter. Let me show you this quote. This is wonderful. It was actually Praz that retweeted it. Let me go Twitter. This. Enzo said yesterday, right now I'm being asked to play a bit closer to the box with the opportunity to score or assist my teammates. It's a nice thing and I like the position a lot. That's why I'm starting Enzo. Go on the boy. I know, by the way, Rodgers basically plays like a advanced forward for large spells, but I just like the position that... it's a bit fluffy, this ball, isn't it? I just like the positions that Enzo's picking up right now. He's also their club captain in the absence of Reece James, which is great. Toffees are tight at the back. Sean Dyche doesn't like it if air gets through. It's exactly why I think Enzo might have a good game, because he's going to be in an even more advanced position, right? If they sit deep, Enzo's going to be able to make those runs into the box. Yeah, I've got a decent feeling about him, but we'll see. Enzo, after leaving his wife and kids, is different gravy. Sad to say, but that does seem to have had an effect, doesn't it? I don't think it's because he's left his wife. I think it's just because he's obviously had ongoing issues. And I think once you've cleared those up, you can play with a freer mind. So I think that's all it is. I think it's just when you've got stuff going on in your personal life, it's difficult to fully focus on football. We've seen that in the past with a lot of players. Rashford traditionally has done better when he's not had issues in his love life, right? Ross, is your girlfriend Indian? No, she is Caucasian, British. She's a Brummie. Should I start Rodgers or Jackson? I don't even think that's close. I think it's Jackson 10 times out of 10. Isak in for Jackson or hold for now? I'd probably hold. Jackson could easily outscore Isak. AMAD for Rodgers. If you've got loads of frees and you've got a gut feeling, I don't mind it. But I wouldn't do it for a hit, and I wouldn't do it if you've only got like one free transfer. I've decided against it. Why don't you own the biggest air threat of everyone in the Premier League, Dan Burn? Botman's back soon, and so he either benches Botman, benches Dan Burn, or benches Lewis Hall. I think Dan Burn's at a slight risk for starts coming up. Any news on Cunha? Love the streams. The latest we have, firstly, thank you very much. The latest we have is that Wolves haven't heard from the FA, but they've got a hearing on Monday. So I'd be very surprised if between now and the hearing they say that Cunha can't play. So yeah, I think Cunha will feature. Has FPL Villain posted their lineup? Let me check. Yeah, he's got Rodgers at 90%. He's got Watkins at 50%. He's literally like 50-50 between him and Duran. And he's got Mings at 50%, Pau Torres at 50%. He's got Luca Dean starting, if that's who you're after. It depends who you're after. Rodgers is at 90% to start. Watkins is at 50%. Duran's at 50%. I do think it's a lot closer than people are suggesting between Watkins and Duran. People are like, obviously Duran's going to start. Wouldn't be surprised to see Watkins start. Last season, Palmer scored 4 goals against Everton and then went on to score 10 goals in 5 games. Repeat incoming. I hope so, although I'm not captaining him this week. So maybe not. Hopefully Enzo scores 4 goals against Everton. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if he gets a couple of penalties in there as well. Are you sure Castagna will play? Yes. They've literally not got a right back. Not a single other right back. They've had to promote an academy player called Goford, who's never played for them in the Premier League, because they literally don't have any right back cover other than Castagna. So unless they plan on doing something like Anderson or Diop or Bassi at right back, which isn't going to happen, or a 3-5-2 with Iwobi at wing back, I can't see a world in which Castagna doesn't start. There is, of course, a slight risk, but I'd be very surprised. The Palmer Hall was in the home game, not the away game. In the away game, he had no returns. Perfect. That's what we want to. That's what we want to hear. Hey, Ross, I got Isak, Cunha, Jackson, Salah, Palmer, Mbeumo, and Ahmad. The headache is I have to bench one. Who do you suggest I bench this week? Core. You've got to bench one of those. Or is it Ahmad? I think Ahmad's the only one you can bench there. It's not a great position to be in, but I mean, at least you got good squad depth, Trina. But yeah, I'd bench Ahmad. I think you've got to. The others are all too good. Not that Ahmad's not, by the way, but... Bench 2 of Enzo, Pedro, Rogers, and Hall. I'd bench Rogers and Hall, probably, or Enzo. I'd start Pedro. Yep, Jamie, same for you. Enzo or João Pedro. I would bench Enzo and start João Pedro. I still really rate João Pedro, but if you don't, then don't start him. Isak in for Jack. I did that one. Hey, Ross, did that one. Hi, Ross, good morning. 1 to start. Colwell, Rogers, Smith Rowe, Wood, João Pedro. 1 to start? What do you mean? I assume you mean 1 to bench, right? Because you can't bench. Yeah. I assume you mean 1 to bench. If you've got to bench one of those, probably Colwell. If you literally mean 1 to start, I would probably start João Pedro or Smith Rowe of those options. Also, Fabianski or Flecken. I would start Flecken, bench Fabianski. Bench Pickford or Fabianski? I'd start Fab, I think. Better fixture, but Pickford playing for the better defence, so... Is it too early to get Jota in? I think so. I do think he'll start on Boxing Day against Leicester. I don't think he'll start this game. I think it might be Gakpo and Diaz again. I just don't know if he's quite in a position to start Jota. I do think it's a bit early. Start Sells or Fabianski? Oh, that's very tough. I'd probably start Sells there, but I think both concede. Start either Nilsson or João Pedro. João Pedro. Bench Ahmad or Wood. I'd probably start Chris Wood and bench Ahmad. Chris Wood's on penalties. Brentford ship goals for fun. Last minute equaliser says 8 Nuri and Semenyo to Robinson and Ahmad -4 or Castagna. I'd go Castagna, and yeah, I don't mind that -4 to be honest. I have the money to go from Cunha to Isak or Jackson. Who would you recommend? I'd much prefer Isak. Much prefer Isak. But I also think you could make that move next week. Potentially. Don't think you need to make the move this week. Start Hall in a 4-4-2 or Rodgers in a 3-5-2. I'd probably start Hall in a 4-4-2, to be honest. By the way, I think Rodgers is very likely to do well in this game. So I'm not saying bench Rodgers happily. It's just if you've got a really bad benching headache. Because you just never know. City are going to turn it around at some point. That game will happen soon. It's not happened for 11 games. They've got 1 win. That's appalling. So maybe it will continue for longer. But I think at some point Pep finds something. And just a way to... Oh, why is my... This is it. It's because I've got to plug it bloody in to charge it. The camera's a little bit laggy. Wissa over Isak. No. Isak's better than Wissa. I do like Wissa though still. It's going to be this game I call 3 or 4-0 to City. Maybe. I can't see that. I don't think this will be a game where City dominate Villa. But would I be surprised if it's like 1-0 City or 2-1 City? I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. Wissa's home form is crazy. It is, yeah, to be fair. You're not wrong. Forest are very good defensively. They've been even better away from home as well this season. So you're keeping Cunha? Yeah, I'm keeping Cunha. Ahmad over Rodgers? Yeah, I would say Ahmad over Rodgers. Yep. I'd prefer Ahmad to Rodgers. Van Dijk or Colwell? That's tough, isn't it? Cole's got a much greater chance for a clean sheet. I'd still probably start Verge. Semenyo or Rogers? Rogers. Yeah, I meant to bench one. Also wondering, can do Trent and Wood to Robinson and Isak. Would you go for it? I'm so reluctant to sell Trent. Thanks. I would be very tempted to do that if it's for free. If it's for a hit, no, Felipe. Sorry, don't know which one it is. So yeah, if you're gonna bench one, I would bench Colwill out of those options. And would you do Trent and Wood to Robinson and Isak? I'd be very tempted for free. I do think if you're telling me you can only own one of Trent or Isak, I'd prefer Isak. If you're saying only one of Trent or Jackson, then I think that's very, very close. Colwell or Lewis Hall? Definitely Lewis Hall for me. Jackson and Isak next week for a -4. Well, I'd need to see the rest of the team, but yeah, I think the ideal front three right now is Jackson, Isak, and a cheap forward, like João Pedro or Jimenez or someone like that. Wissa, if you can afford him. I mean, probably the ideal front three is Isak, Jackson, and Wood, but that's very expensive at that stage. Pedro Porro or Lewis Hall? Lewis Hall. Start AMAD or Bowen? That's very tough. I think Bowen's been playing exceptionally well recently. I'd probably go Bowen. Start Enzo or AMAD? I'd start AMAD ahead of Enzo myself. Mbermo and Cunha for AMAD and Isak -4. No, not this week. Not this week. Welbeck to Jimenez -4. It depends who you play instead of Welbeck, because Welbeck's not going to start. So who are you playing instead of Welbeck right now? If you've literally got no cover for Welbeck, then yeah. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't. The legend Zubin has just gifted 5 Rap Tier memberships. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's crazy. We have had gifted memberships to KAJ, Charlie, Drawing Dead, Mike, and Alex. Make sure to say thank you to Zubin. What a legend. 15 gifted memberships in this live stream. It's mad. Welcome. Everyone's going to have a badge next to their name soon. It's crazy. Captain Haaland, Palmer, or Saka? I'd probably say Palmer out of those options for me. Yeah, probably say Palmer. And Burma out gets me Isak and Jackson. Do I do it or no? Yeah, probably at that stage. What are the membership perks? Well, for now, you get a badge next to your name, so priority reply in the live streams, priority reply in the comments section. If you become a long-term member, then you can enter our group chat, and you can enter our mini league as well, and our private chat, where you can talk to other people. But for now, because it's a gifted membership, we obviously can't put you in the chat, because technically you could just not be a member next month, so then we'd have to kick you again. Just noticed the 140k subs. Nice going, Ross. Nice end to the year. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we're very close to 141, actually. We are only 8 subscribers away from 141, actually. Thank you for your support, though, mate. I appreciate it. But yeah, if 8 of you could subscribe, we will hit 141,000. Make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Definitely a nice end to 2024. 2024 has been a mad year on YouTube, so I appreciate all the support. Is your head warm, Ross? Yeah, do you know what? It's nice and cozy, but because it's quite cold in my room, I'm not too sweaty, which is nice. Because this one that I bought is like a premium one apparently, but it keeps you nice and warm if you want to wear it outside. What is your rank? There, 364579. I don't know how far I'm off the top 100k. Let me check. How many points am I off the top 100k? Oh wow. I'm not that far. I'm only 34 points off the top 100k. I think my aim for my aim is maybe going into the game week 30 wildcard to be top 100k. I mean, if I'm there before it, great. But I know you can obviously have bad weeks as much as good weeks. Like I could have a bad week and be pushed down to like 500k quite easily. I am only 10 points inside the top 500k. So I'm aware that it doesn't always go perfectly. Just look at mine /Pickles rank. It's outrageous, Frosty. Nisman has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. Whoa! What is going on? AKU has gifted 10 Rap Tier memberships. Why are there so many gifted memberships happening? What on earth? Right. AKU, thank you so much. Tom is now a member. Silico's a member. Andrew's got a membership. Wallaby's been gifted a membership. Yatish has been gifted a membership. Liam has been gifted a membership. Jacob. I can't even keep up. Tanmay, Hamad, Kriman. That is insanity. Thank you so much. What on earth is happening? AKU, you legend. 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season of giving. I like it. People are being gifted Rap Tier memberships all over the gaff. That is crazy. Thank you very much, though. I do appreciate it. Tis definitely the season for giving. What do you think of Neto and Jackson for the future? Neto I'm a bit unsure on, but Jackson I'm a big fan of. Jackson I'm very, very big fan of. Erdegaard and Cunha to Ahmad and Isak -8. Not this week, no. Wazwell FC has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. That is officially 27 new members in this live stream. Crazy. I think you missed my super chat earlier. I don't think I did, mate. I'm sure I answered it. Yeah, I answered it. Was it the one I said Veltman to Castagna sounds like a nice transfer? I wouldn't do Semenyo to Rodgers. I think that's what I said. Your rank is too low. Run from me. It's not too bad. I can accept it. 30-minute warning. We do have a 30-minute warning. 30 minutes until the deadline. Get your teams locked in. What do you think about Matoma? I don't mind him. I've gone off him a little bit, but I don't mind him. Flabberdoodle has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome. This is crazy. It's all kicking off. In between Iwobi versus Ahmad, have Robinson and Bruno. Don't know which team to double up on. I actually think I would go Ahmad. Cheaper. I think the Manchester United attacker are a little bit stronger, although we've been struggling to score goals a little bit. I just think Ahmad could offer really nice value. I also like Ismail Assar. I wouldn't forget about Ismail Assar as an option. I think as of next week, he might be one of my favourite options, if not my favourite. I'm wondering if I could get Ismail Assar in for Rodgers. Because I think everyone's going to go Ahmad, so I think there's an opportunity to differentiate slightly there. But obviously this week's just not a great entry point. What is happening in this stream? MN Chuckster has already gifted 10 members and dropped 2 super chats. That is ridiculous. What is happening? Team sorted. Another red arrow incoming. Can't shake that 3 million rank. Well, I hope you get the biggest of green arrows. You deserve it. This is just a thanks for the content you put out for us. Would watch your videos even if you were my rank because of your positive personality and how much you care. Love your ego. I love you too, mate. I feel bad that I don't know your actual name. I just call you MN Chuckster. But thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. You're all very kind. Is it because it's Christmas or are you all just very kind people? I don't know. Either way, I appreciate you. Nana Raptor just said Merry Christmas to you and the FPL. What did you say? I've just missed it. Where was it? Nana Raptor said Merry Christmas to all the FPL family. That is my literal nan in the chat in her mid-80s. Whose nan in their mid-80s knows how to comment on a YouTube live stream? And she's literally going to be sat there by herself. No one's doing that for her. That's insane. I love you, Nana Raptor. And Nana Raptor wishes everyone a Merry Christmas as well. What a legend. What a wholesome live stream this is. Any Man City early team news? Nothing right now. Nothing right now. Sanchez, Timber, Gabriel, Robinson, Saka, Salah, Palmer, Semenyo, João Pedro, Cunha, Jackson. What a team that is. Really nice. Bench of Porro, Rodgers, Vandenberg. 1 free transfer used on Robinson. Is it worth taking a -8 to get Isak? What change would you suggest? 0.3 in the bank. I don't think so. Your front 3 of JP, Cunha, Jackson's great. I'd roll. I'd leave it as is and just hope that Isak doesn't go too big. I think in the long term, it's definitely worth It's definitely worth trying to get Isak in. It's not going to be easy to do, but I think I'd rather do it next week. Sell Cunha next week for Isak, and you might have a more obvious route at that point. Yeah, I wouldn't take a -8 for that team this week. FPL Al Hadari says Robbo, Rogers, Cunha to Trent, Ahmad, Rao for a hit. I don't think you need to do the Robbo to Trent move this week, so I'd just do Rogers and Cunha to Ahmad and Rao if you want to. But I honestly wouldn't. I think Robbo, Rogers, and Cunha are all fine for this week. I wouldn't do that. Sandeep says, hey Russ, happy holidays. Wissa to Isak for a -4. Probably not. Would I? Oh, that's tough. Probably not. Wissa could do well. We spoke about how good he is at home. Mr. Martin with the super chat says, wow, what a headache. 2 free transfers. 1, Cunha and Eze out for Isak and Enzo. Okay. Cunha and Eze out for Isak and Enzo. I don't mind that. 2, Cunha and Trent out for Isak and any bench defender. Or 3, hold and do the transfers next week. Merry Christmas, Ross. Depends how much you want Isak. I mean, you are selling Cunha against Leicester for Isak against Ipswich. Cunha could do very well. I'm going to say that I would be tempted to do it because I just think Isak's such a good player, but you could just bring him in next week. I'd probably bring in Isak next week. I would probably leave it. But it's very easy for me to sit here and say that because I own both Cunha and Isak, right? So, if you didn't have Salah, who would be your captain? I'd go Isak, probably. Maybe Palmer. Isak or Palmer. I'd probably go Isak. Jim says, Merry Christmas, Nana Raptor. Your grandson is one of the good ones. Jim, what a legend you are. I try my best. I do try my best. Jay, hello again. Updated wildcard. Okay, let's see it. Raya, Fabianski, Trent, Gabriel, Castagna, Howson, O'Shea, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Ahmad, Enzo, Jackson, Isak, João Pedro. 0.1, be honest, mate. That's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10 wildcard. No issues at all with that. Yeah, I love that. I'd go for it. It looks a lot stronger. Wallaby says, start one of Martinez, Timber, or Gomez. Please don't spam in the chat, but I'll answer your questions so that you stop spamming. Martinez, Timber, or Gomez? I would start Timber. And then, yeah, please stop spamming. Even as members, you don't need to spam. I'll get there eventually. Bench Ahmad Bowen or Jackson? Ahmad Bowen or Jackson? I think you got bench Ahmad there, really. Can't bench Jackson. Hey, Ross, start 2 between Matoma, João Pedro, Rogers, or Colwill. Ooh, that's really tough. Well, I would bench Colwill and probably Rogers. Or maybe you could bench Matoma and hedge your bets a bit, Will. I'd definitely start João Pedro and then one of Matoma or Rogers. Depends how much you back Brighton. They're not in a great run of form, so maybe it's Matoma and... Sorry, maybe it's João Pedro and Rogers. Start Enzo or Colwill. Enzo for me, Andrew. Enzo for me. By the way, you've got 23 minutes until the deadline. 23 minutes. Think I've got through all of those. Don't think I've missed any, which is good. It's a good position to be in. Yeah, I think this is my final team. I do have the option, by the way, of doing Rogers to Ahmad and benching Enzo. But I just think I'm going to leave that option open. It might be that I actually go for, like I said, Ismail Assar rather than Ahmad. Or it might be that I decide to keep Rogers. You know? I just don't think it's worth the extra transfer this week to change around those budget mids. I am still tempted to start at Rogers, but I think I've got a bit more of a gut feeling about Enzo this week. I also like that he plays on the Sunday. I always like having as many players on the Sunday as possible. Have you tinted your beard? No, why? Does it look a bit... Oh, are you saying because I look like Santa? I was going to say, does it look different? Any team news yet? No, I don't think so. Not that I've seen. Is it viable to start Johnson? This hat keeps molting, though. Is it viable to start Johnson despite a few benches from Ange, or do I just start Rogers? I think even if Johnson starts, I'd prefer Rogers, I think. So, yeah, I would just start Rogers. Just safer. You don't want to risk it, do you? I do think this is the sort of game where he'll start Johnson, though. Just for that energy on the right wing. Then Kulusevski through the centre. Start Rogers or Mbermo. Definitely Mbermo. Definitely Mbermo. Start Hall or Van Dijk. That's so tough. I'd honestly be tempted to start Lewis Hall there. Lewis Hall's on set pieces. And he's got a better fixture. Raul for captain. If you're very sure he's going to start, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I still wouldn't do it, but if you're very sure he's going to start and you've got a good feeling about him, go for it. I think there is a risk that he only plays... Well, he might not start, but even if he starts, he might only play like 60, 65. They might want to rest him ahead of the Chelsea game. Unless they plan on... If they plan on starting Muniz for the Chelsea game, he might get 90 mins, which would be best case scenario, I guess. But it's not happened very often, has it? Would you switch João Pedro for Isak? If it's for free, yes. If it's for a hit, no. Flecken or Fabianski? Flecken for me. Why are you starting João Pedro over Rodgers? I still think it's a better fixture and he's on penalties. Gian was good on the pod this week. Really enjoyed. Yeah, it was good, wasn't he? He was very knowledgeable about football. I do have an episode on Monday, which will be released on Christmas Eve, by the way. So there is an episode of FPL Therapy for next week, despite it being Christmas. So I'm recording that on Monday morning. And yeah, like I said, it'll be live on Christmas Eve morning. I don't expect the views to be very good. But if you did want to listen to something on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or Boxing Day ahead of the live stream, then there will be a podcast. It will just be me, though. It's a solo pod. I'll probably try and keep it a little bit shorter and, yeah, have a little Christmas Eve upload. Is this the final team, Rossi boy? It is indeed the final team, yeah, I think. Unless we get something in the next 20 minutes which changes my mind. Start Verbruggen or Sells? Probably Verbruggen. That's tough. Yeah, probably Verbruggen. You can't keep a video short. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. They're getting longer as well. FPL Therapy episodes are almost 2 hours now. Pedro, Jackson, Wood, Saka, Palmer, Neto, Salah captain, Timber, Robinson, Trent, Raya. Good team or nah? Yes, great team. Banging team, actually. I love the defence, by the way. That's a really nice defence. Very expensive, but very good. What don't I like? No Isak and no Gabriel. It's the only thing that I can criticise. I like the Neto punt. It'll probably start. Yeah, really nice team. No issues at all. Yeah. I probably butchered your name there. MN Chuckster says, the name's Bond, James. I'm kidding. It's Michael. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, James Bond. I'll try and remember the Michael thing. It's just nice, isn't it, right? Nice to not just call you by a username. At least I know your name now. Here for FPL says, for Game Week 18, Semenyo and Mikalenko to AMAD and Munoz -4. Yeah, love that. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would do. Bench one of Trent, Hall, Timber or Gabriel. I wouldn't bench your Arsenal defender, so probably Trent or Hall. It's tempting to say I'd bench Trent, but that benching a 7 million defender. Bench one of Solanke or Trent or AMAD. Probably AMAD. Probably AMAD. That's crazy to say, though, isn't it? I do think we need to lower our expectations around AMAD, by the way. I do think we need to lower our expectations. Hi, Ross. Would you do a -4 out for Castagna? For Luca Dean out for Castagna? I wouldn't do a -4, no. I'd probably do it for free next week or in future weeks. Defender transfers for -4 very rarely works out. I'm tempted to do Jackson to Isak. Don't know why. Should I? I wouldn't do it. I think Isak's a better option than Jackson, but not enough to want to use a transfer there, probably. Shazam with a super chat says 16 months of the egg pickle and nanoraptor. What stream can top that? Green arrows all around for you. Thank you, my man. I hope you have I'll try and speak to you before Christmas, but if I don't, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Very, very kind. By the way, there will be a Boxing Day live stream. I'll be streaming from Nanoraptor's house because I'm going home for Christmas with Pickle, but my nan has really good internet. Really randomly, Nanoraptor's just got banging internet, so I'll stream from my nan's house. It won't be the best setup because I'll be on my laptop and the stuff, but yeah, there will be a Boxing Day live stream, so you can look forward to that. What does Pickle's team look like? Pickle's already tweeted her team. If you just type in FPL_Pickle on Twitter, you can see her team there. She's already tweeted her team, though. Oh no, my computer's starting to have a nightmare. It's done quite well today, though. I have sorted the camera issue. I think. I found a way to connect it in a different way, and it seems to have worked. In terms of it doesn't regularly freeze. I just need to find a way to keep it charged, basically. Jack Manning has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. Nana Raptor has that 2G fiber internet. Yeah, why do Nans have such a fantastic internet? It's crazy. But yeah, my Nan's internet's great. I don't even know what internet she uses, but whenever I'm there, it's bang. It's probably going to be terrible now, but yeah. Matt says, very Merry Christmas to you, Pickle and Nana Raptor. Looking forward to the Boxing Day live stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. In terms of videos, there will be a video on Sunday. There will be an FPL Rap Therapy upload on Tuesday. And then I'll be doing a Boxing Day live stream as well. So there will be lots of content over the next few days. And yeah, I look forward to it. Bench Enzo or Brennan Johnson? I'd bench Brennan Johnson and start Enzo. Pickford or Fabianski? I would just about start Fabianski there. Your computer and internet are rebelling because you gave love to Nana Raptors. Yeah, probably. Buy Luis Diaz or Kulusevski. I probably wouldn't buy either, but I'd maybe lean Luis Diaz for the upside, but I wouldn't be looking at either of those personally. Ross, would you start Pedro or Amad? Also, thanks for the membership. It wasn't me that gifted it, but you're welcome. I'd start João Pedro still. Excited to hear it's a solo pod next week. Some people like the solo pods, others don't. But yeah, it will be a solo pod. Rage transferred Wissa and 8 Nuri for Isak and Howson at the start of the week. Thoughts on Saka armband? I really like those transfers, to be fair. Big fan. Thoughts on Saka armband? I don't actually hate it. He's top 4 options for me. I just think there are a few players with greater goal threat, which is where I always tend to lean. I don't think we've had any early Man City team news at the moment, which is good. I don't think we should get it. Start Hall or Timber alongside Gabriel. I'd still back Timber, I think. Yeah, I'd still back Timber. Think you missed my second super chat. Sorry, mate, but you deserve a third one. I probably don't if I missed your second one. Taking your advice and holding. Bench 2 of Hall, Robbo, Rogers, Enzo, Cunha, Pedro. Bench 2. I'd bench Robertson and Rogers, probably. And I think I'd start Hall, Enzo, Cunha, and Pedro. Yeah, probably Robertson and Rogers I'd bench there. I have a benching headache, says Darren. Saka, Cunha, Palmer, Ahmad, Erdegaard, Salah, Pedro, Jackson. Which one to bench? Saka, Cunha, Palmer, Ahmad, Erdegaard. Wow. I would probably be benching Erdegaard. Probably Erdegaard. Maybe Ahmad. I don't think you can bench Salah, Pedro, Jackson, Palmer, Cunha, or Saka. Right, they're all fantastic. It's Ahmad or Erdegaard, basically, Darren. Bench 1 of Castagna, Hall, Enzo, or Murphy. That is so tough. Well, one of the defenders, probably. Hall or Castagna. You could even bench Enzo. I'd probably start Murphy. He's in a great run of form, great fixture. I'd probably bench Castagna there. I don't think I could bench Lewis Hall. He's taken set pieces. He's got a great fixture. Newcastle are playing well. Doesn't feel right. Start Porro or Mazraoui. Probably Mazraoui. Nash United says, good morning, Ross. Pickford, Saliba, Robinson, Gabriel, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Enzo, Isak, Pedro, Jackson have 0.9 million left. A bit too templatey. Great content, mate. I mean, it is template, but for good reason. It's a cracking team. You've got money in the bank. You've got all of the major assets covered. Salah, Saka, Palmer, Isak, Jackson. You must have insane team value. In fact, your team value must be through the roof to afford that team. It's crazy. Really nice team, though, Nasha. Like it a lot. I like it a lot. I've got good team value, but I'm jealous of some of the teams that I'm seeing flying around. I can't get close to affording them. Verbruggen or Fabianski? I'd probably back Brighton. I'd go Verbruggen. I saw you on the FPL show. Yeah, I made my debut on the fantasy show, which was nice. I also was on Sky Sports podcast this week as well. And I was on the FPL USA Press Play podcast. I've been on 3 different podcasts this week, as well as my own. If you count my own podcast, I've been on 4. If you count FPL Raptor, I've technically been on 5 different channels this week. That's a lot. It's a lot of me being everywhere. I don't know if I'm supposed to tuck my ears into this or leave them out. Ahmad or Cunha? Cunha. With the Arseman chip, do you think it's worth moving early to bin off Cunha to save some money today? Considering it's a Thursday deadline, maybe. Might be worth moving a little bit early. I don't know if it's worth moving early, though, to save 0.1 when you've got an entire game week. I I guess you've got all the Saturday games out the way. Maybe Frosty. We'll see. I might be tempted. I'm probably going to wait until Sunday, though, at the earliest. So I'll probably miss that 0.1. I don't know if it affects my selling price, actually. I haven't checked. Please tell me it doesn't. Please tell me I can take a loss on Cunha. 3. Oh. That's annoying. So it does. That's a bit frustrating. So yeah, I'm going to lose 0.1 on Cunha if he falls tonight. Do you know what? Maybe if... Oh, he's playing on Sunday, isn't he? I was going to say maybe if he scores a hat-trick, he won't fall, but no, he's playing tomorrow. Okay, that's a shame. Oh, well. I'm not going to do it tonight, I don't think. Unless... I could be tempted. I could be tempted. No, there we go. It's wood going up more, so I was worried about. Yeah, I'll check the price changes. Let me have a look. Summary of tonight's predictions. Oh, Cunha's not actually predicted to drop. Yeah, wood is definitely going to rise tonight, isn't he? Dear Lord. So's AMAD. I mean, there's going to be a lot of price changes tonight. Robinson, Rao, AMAD, Isak, Lewis Hall, Chris Wood, Gabriel, Salah, Iwobi. I mean, the projected price rises for tonight is insane. It might be worth moving early. I mean, it is very early, bear in mind, but wow. Where is Cunha at? Oh, Cunha's way off. Okay, so I can take the loss on Cunha. What about Jackson? Jackson's obviously just risen, that's fine. I'm trying to think of my own transfers. I would just keep an eye on price changes tonight. I'll try and put a tweet out this evening, but there looks like there could be a lot of price changes. Lewis starts. According to who? Let me have a look on Twitter. Where have we seen this? I've not seen that. Someone said in the chat that Lewis starts, but I've not seen it. Let me know if you see the account, then let me know. It's not that early. It's a midweek deadline. It's early in terms of you've not seen any of the games from Sunday, though, Zodiac. What happens if you get 4 injured players on Sunday, which is possible? It's not ideal, by the way, but it's possible. Robinson or Lewis Hall long term? Robinson. I prefer Robinson to Lewis Hall. Yeah, for sure. Cunha and 8 Nuri to Rao and Timber to bench Gvardiol or roll? I'd roll. I'd start Gvardiol. Start Porro or Mazraoui? Mazraoui. Lewis or Aina? Oof, I'd probably start Lorena. Your camera's glitching. Yeah, I know, sorry. It's because I'm having to charge it whilst I'm using it. So it's just a little bit laggy. The sound should still be coming through absolutely fine. Internet is holding up fine. It's just because I'm having to charge it up, so it's a bit overheated, I think. Start Enzo or AMAD? I'd still start AMAD. My wood rises watching your stream. Let's not do that. Sorry if you've answered this, mate. Bench one of Castagna, Gvardiol, or Ola Aina. I'd start Castagna. I'd probably bench Ola Aina there. I'd start Castagna and Gvardiol. It's part of his stream. It is. It's part of the endearing part of the stream is the camera not working properly. Who should I transfer and start? Fabianski, Robinson, Kirkes, Hall, Palmer. Okay, that's your whole team. I don't know how much money in the bank. I don't know how many free transfers. In terms of starting, I think you bench Kirkes and you bench Rodgers. So I can help you, and I would start João Pedro. So I can help with the benching decision, but I can't help with transfers because I don't know how much money you've got. By the way, if you're one of the 4,000 people watching that is not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I massively appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you drop a like as well. I appreciate it a lot. How long is it viable to go without Saka? I mean, it's viable for as long as you think that your team can cover it. Like, it's who have you got instead? But I think in the next couple of weeks, Saka makes sense. I mean, it's Ipswich at home in Game Week 18. It's a great fixture. Why is no one talking about Alisson? I don't know. Alisson's probably the best keeper to own at the moment for me. I'd prefer to have Alisson to Raya. If you gave me a free choice of the two of them, I'd have Alisson. Makes more saves. He's cheaper. Should I copy your whole team? No, I wouldn't. There's issues with my team. I wouldn't want Vandenberg. I wouldn't want Lewis. I wouldn't want Sanchez. I'd ideally have Jackson. I'd rather AMAD or Sarr to Rodgers. I certainly wouldn't be copying my team, though. Why is no one talking about... Oh, I answered that one, didn't I? What's Pickle saying? Okay. Flecken or Fabianski? I've answered that one a few times. I'd still say Flecken. I like the fixture for him this week, actually. I think it could be a clean sheet. I'm just hoping Chris Wood blanks, basically. I need an Iwobi Hall. I don't. As long as Robinson assists, you can have your Iwobi Hall. Start Cliver or Rodgers. Merry Christmas, Egg. Merry Christmas to you too. I would start Rodgers still. Even though Clivert's on pens, I think I'd still start Rodgers. Should I copy your hairstyle? Yes. I think so. Hey Ross, please rate this team. Flecken, Gvardiol, Gabriel, Robinson, Saka, AMAD, Palmer, Salah, Isaac, Pedro, Cunha. Rate that team 9. 9.5. I mean, the only issue really, and it's not an issue, is Gvardiol. It's not, again, not an issue. He's scoring goals. Flecken's fine for this week. Yeah, like 9, 9.5. Great team. Absolutely great team. You've got under 5 minutes until the deadline, by the way. Make sure you get those transfers locked in. As of right now, we do not have any early team news for Man City. So I do not know if Rico Lewis is starting. If you want my prediction, I predict that Rico Lewis does start, but I don't know that. Only because he's just had his rest, right? He was suspended. Doesn't need a rest. It's not like Man City played much better without Rico Lewis in the team. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Rico Lewis is back in the 11. That's my prediction. Taleb says, Mbermo, Wood, João Pedro, Smith Rowe, who do you bench? Wow. Wow, that's tough. Honestly, one of Chris Wood or Smith Rowe. I'd bench Chris Wood, I think, and start Smith. No, just the minutes. I'd probably bench Smith Rowe, but I don't love that. Yeah, I'd probably just about bench Smith Rowe. Liam says, any Villa team news? Nothing yet, Liam, sadly. Sorry. I wish I had something for you. I wish I did. Yeah, no early team news for City or Liverpool right now. How much money do you have in the bank, Ross? I have 1 million in the bank with this team. 1.0. Hey, Ross, start 2 between Matoma, JP, Rodgers or Colwill. Yeah, I answered that one, Will, earlier. I said I would bench Colwill, and then outside of that, just trust your gut feeling. I would start João Pedro. So for me, I would bench one of Matoma or Rodgers. I would probably hedge my bets and bench Matoma, just in case Brighton had an absolute stinker. Is Cunha fine? I think Cunha will start, yeah. I think so, but we don't know. Of course, the FA could absolutely change their minds. The FA could not change their minds, but they could implement something before Sunday. But as we understand it, there is a hearing for Wolves on Monday, and we would expect that until then that he's available, right? Because they can't ban him really before a hearing. So I think we're probably fine with Cunha. If you have early City team news, because people are commenting stuff, I'm not going to trust it unless you provide a source. If there's a source, then let me know. Absolutely, that'd be useful. Even Ilson or João Pedro? João Pedro for me. Colwill or Mazraoui? Probably Colwill. AMAD or Rodgers? AMAD for me. Yeah, definitely AMAD. Who would you replace Cunha with? I wouldn't do it right now, but if I'm going to do it, it's got to be Isaac or Jackson. Outside of that, Raul Jimenez, Chris Wood. Mateta, if you want to go a little bit longer term. I can give you some Cholula hot sauce. I have loads of it in the pantry from when it was an offer. We like Cholula. Cholula hot sauce is really nice. If you've not tried it, you should try it. How is Isaac over Salah for captaincy? I don't mind it. I need to see more for me to back against Salah from someone. I'll tell you what, if it was this week but Isaac had Leicester at home like he did last week and Salah's fixture was Spurs away, I'd be tempted. But I just think I love Salah. Salah's just such a baller. Final game of the game week as well. It's always nice going into the final game with your captain still to play. Start AMAD or Semenyo? I'd start AMAD. Belabor or Archer? That's not a great position to be in. Probably Archer. Enzo or Jimenez? I'd definitely start Raul Jimenez ahead of Enzo, yeah. The fixture's so there to attack, isn't it? 2 minutes until the deadline. Wow, 2 minutes until the deadline. Let me make sure my team's locked in. Your mate Harry took a -8 this week. Yeah, I saw. Bit bonkers. To be fair, he's in such a good position. He could take a -24 and he'd be fine. No early team news, which is great. This is the way it should be, to be honest. I've not seen any early team news. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone watching. I will carry on streaming after the deadline. Don't leave when the deadline goes. I'll carry on streaming. We'll talk about different stuff. Davis or Dunk? Leaf Davis. Triple captain Salah. Nah, not for me. Not for me. AMAD or João Pedro? João Pedro. Just about. Bench Enzo or Rodgers? I'm just about favouring Enzo, but I think it's extremely close, like 50-50. Strand Larsen over Even Ilson? Yeah, probably, just because of the fixture. Enzo or João Pedro? João Pedro. Virgil or Lewis Hall? Lewis Hall. That is it. That's the deadline. Can't answer any more questions anyway. We are done. Does Gabriel start? Yeah, I'd imagine so, unless he's picked up another issue. We are locked. Let me tweak my team. Why haven't you designed your team's kit this year? I just couldn't be bothered. They all look really ugly to me. I probably should at some point, though, shouldn't I? Right, let me tweak my team. Stop the Leaf Davis glaze, Ross. Nah, Leaf Davis is the GOAT. I really want Manchester United to sign Leaf Davis. It'd be great in that left wing back role. Absolutely wicked left foot. What am I doing? I'm being a numpty. That's what I'm doing. Triple captain Salah. It's too late now. If you've done it, you've done it. And if you've not, then you've not. Too late. Deadline is gone. Which team do you support? I support Manchester United. Game week 17 team. Does he only answer people who send money? No, that is a false claim. Because I've just answered you. I will prioritize people that send money because obviously they've paid and it's very generous. And obviously my content is free, so I do rely on things like super chats to make money. So I absolutely love it. I appreciate the generosity. There is no requirement to do it, and I'll still answer as many questions as possible, but yeah. Right, what did I do? I did 8. Bye-bye 8, Nuri. You will be missed. Not really. Eight Nuri to Robinson. Rolled my second free transfer. What's my rank? 364k. Right, Salah, Cap. Sorry guys, just tweeting my team out. You know how it is. Just in case people aren't tuning into the stream and they want to know what happened. Where's the white beard? Budget Santa this. Yeah, I know. I probably could have gone a little bit extra, but would have been itchy, wouldn't it? Do you know what? This actually kept me really cozy. I thought I was going to be sweating, but it's nice. I've never donated money because I'm poor, but I'm a big fan of your content, Ross. Honestly, mate, you never have to. There are ridiculous people like Frosty and Shazam and Michael and can't even think of other people. There are tons of overly generous people that do, but there's no requirement to ever send money. Never. I promise you. There's no requirement to do that. But thank you to those that do, obviously. All right. Am I... boom, boom, boom. Sorry, guys. Taking me ages to type this out. Are you planning to get AMAD? I am planning potentially to get AMAD, but I'm leaving it open. I want to see a little bit more like... Because if AMAD blanks in like bank... I don't think he will, but if he blanks in back-to-back games, all of a sudden people aren't as interested. Do you think United will try and get Pedro Goncalves from Sporting in the? Honestly, Will, I have no idea. I don't even know. I'm assuming he's a wing back, but I've got no idea. I really don't know much about Sporting. I won't try to imagine. Is he a wing back? If so, then there's a good chance. I do remember though, Amorim said he's not going to sign any Sporting players in January, so I doubt it. Is that my team done? All right. I need to post it on Blue Sky as well, don't I? How did it feel being on the fantasy show? Yeah, it was good. There was a really bad echo, though, I'm not going to lie. So I couldn't really focus on what I was saying because my voice was echoing. So that wasn't great. But... What is the best Christmas film, Ross? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, as always. Banger. I'm so excited for Gavin and Stacey. Anyone else watch Gavin and Stacey and excited for that? I cannot wait. So excited. So excited. I think it's probably only people that are British that watch Gavin and Stacey, but I cannot wait. Whoa, what's happening here? Whoa, stop. New Wallace and Gromit, bro. Is there? It's exciting. Why is that so blurry? Oh, God, my phone's not having a good time. Gavin and Stacey was Prime TV. I cannot wait for the Christmas special. It's the final episode they're ever going to do. So, I kind of need a wee. I might have to go for a wee in a second, chat. Sorry. It is what it is. It means I can stay for longer. Because if I don't go for the wee, then I have to leave quicker, you know? So that might be a thing that has to happen. Right, let me pin that. As a Man United supporter, do you think Amorim will be able to adapt to the play style from Sporting to United with Hoyle instead of Gyökeres as the central figure? I don't think they're that different. I mean, they are different, but I don't think they're that different. Yeah, I think he'll adapt. I think Hoyland will do really well. Right, I'm going to go for a quick wee. Please do stay. If you're not going to stay, please make sure you subscribe after you leave, as you leave. But I'm just going to go for a very quick wee, and then I'll come back, and then we'll answer some of your questions and wait for the lineup for the City Villa game. But yeah, 2 seconds. I'm back. That wee was never ending, I'm not going to lie. Definitely needed that one. Frank said, so jealous of that toilet. Did you sit or stand? My toilet seat's actually been broken for like 2 years, so I kind of have to sit. Otherwise, I have to hold the toilet seat at the same time. It doesn't stay up. So I sit down a lot of the time. It's also nice. Listen, sitting down to wee, it's disrespected. Why would I want to stand up? It's nice sitting down. I'm lazy. Anyway, guys, do you think Enzo will score this game week? Probably not, no. Rodgers will probably outscore him. He defo didn't wash his hands. My hands are washed, you liar. You liar. You liar. Too much information. Sorry. Sit down, Weezer Elite. Thank you. I agree. You look a bit nervous on your fantasy show, Ross. Yeah, I look nervous because it was echoing so much. Like, I couldn't really understand what I was saying. God, I'm hungry. What are we having for lunch today? Who knows? Who knows? Frosty, I'm not even reading that out. It's good to embrace femininity from time to time. Listen, I am the opposite of what you would call, like, not like toxic masculinity, but you know, like men that feel the need to assert their masculinity. I think I'm quite masculine, but I don't feel the need to, like, flaunt it around. You know, men that are afraid to do anything that's even remotely feminine or in touch with their emotional side. I mean, you can probably tell that, but yeah. You should eat on stream. I could order some food. I actually have some leftover biryani in the fridge from a couple of days ago. Vegetable biryani. I could go muller some vegetable biryani on stream. What's the Man United guy that eats the biryani? I forgot his name is. Can't remember. It's like Saeed or something. I can't remember. I don't really watch a lot of Man United content creators. Where's Pickle today? Pickle's in Birmingham. Pickle is actually currently getting her nails done ahead of Christmas. So, yeah, I'm not with Pickle this weekend, but Pickle is coming home with me for Christmas. Yeah, it is Saeed. Yeah. Saeed, he has his biryani, doesn't he? Just the way he says biryani is brilliant. There's no such thing as a vegetable biryani. I mean, it's called a vegetable biryani where I order it from, so that's why I call it a vegetable biryani. Yeah, I know. Pickle's coming home. Raptor, do you care about the cup? I got knocked out the cup last week. I really don't care about the cup, no. I find head-to-head in FPL a little bit... It's just luck-based, isn't it? Like, I'd much rather worry about how I get on across a season and how I get on in a one-to-one week by week. That's how I feel about FPL. There are some games that I like head-to-head, but in FPL I don't really like head-to-head. Ross, how do you deal with nerves before going on shows like FPL? I just like lean into it. Like, if you're nervous, it just means that you care about what you're doing. Like, nerves are a really good thing. And nerves are evolutionary, right? The reason we're nervous is physiologically activates everything, right? So, fight or flight. Nerves are there to help us and to benefit us. I would say if you're doing something that's really important, like sitting an exam or going on the FPL show or interviewing for a job, and you're not at all nervous, it means you don't care about what you're doing. I would also say I'm just a very confident person when it comes to like public speaking and pushing the boat out and doing new things. Like I wouldn't be as nervous as your normal person going on like live TV or speaking in public or stuff like that. So it helps. Nah, Villa City lineup will be out in 3 minutes. Have you ever watched Moneyball? Yeah, recently, Freddie. I loved it, actually. I really liked it. Yeah, it was really good. I get nervous when watching your streams. Oh, you shouldn't get nervous when you watch my streams. If they are there to help us, why did they make my voice and hands shake during my best man speech? I don't blame you. It is still nerve-wracking. Like, even me, if I'm speaking in public, my heart rate will go up. It's natural. You are also nervous when you speak to a girl you fancy. Pfft, you don't know. I am full of the riz. I'm fantastic. Have you seen how good looking my pickle is? Not my pickle, that sounds sus. How good looking my girlfriend is. Does a nervous man manage that? Don't think so. Don't think so. How's FPL therapy, mate? Yeah, it's going well, thank you. Sort of ticking along. It started off like a house on fire, and I wouldn't say it's like plateaued as such, but the growth on FPL therapy has not gone up too much. By the way, if you're not yet subscribed, I will just give you a little shout out. Why not? To my, where am I? YouTube. Then let's go on to FPL therapy. This is my... What's the best one to do for it? Yeah, probably that. This is my new podcast, FPL Therapy. I had Gian on last week. If you're not yet subscribed, please do consider it. Like, if you want more content, there's even an episode which you could watch right now. It's just with former winner Simon March, which was really fun. It's, I think it's just a decent listen. You know, it's available on Spotify and Apple as well. I will copy the link if you want to give me a Christmas present. And if you enjoy if you're sat here right now, you probably enjoy my content, I would imagine. Please check out FPL Therapy. It'll be a lovely Christmas present. I try not to push it too much on my Raptor YouTube channel, but yeah, it's been going well. I'm already on 13,700 subscribers. That's crazy. It's crazy stuff. So I appreciate all of the support, really. It's gone much better than I could have imagined. But, yeah. There we go. Boom. Thanks a bunch, Ross. This is my second season playing. I'm currently ranked 4K in the world. A lot of that is thanks to the advice I got from you. Mate, that is unbelievable. 4K in your second season. How's the league with Stormzy, etc. going? I'm like 50 points clear in that now. I'm storming that. And that wasn't actually an intentional pun there, but there we go. I have a little suggestion for the differential section in FPL Therapy. Why do you not also choose 3 differentials? I agree. Great suggestion. I'm going to do that next year. It's just I've already done it now, you know, and I feel like starting it halfway through the season's a bit. So I think next year I'll do the same and we'll get like a little competition going. I do agree that would be a good idea. Ross, who is your celebrity crush? FPL Pickle. Oh yeah, team news is out. Let's have a look. Ideally, I'd quite like it if Rico Lewis doesn't start. But he's going to. But I'd quite like it if he doesn't, because it means he's going to start Everton, and I'd quite like to play him against Everton. Okay, Rico Lewis starts. Guardiola starts. Foden starts. Haaland starts. Is there anyone missing there? I think that's just all of the major FPL assets start, right? Okay. And then what about Villa? Does Watkins start? Let's have a look. No, that's FPL Villain. Didn't mean to do that. Villa. Not Villain. Okay, Watkins doesn't start. It is Duran. Okay, Rogers starts, Duran starts, Luca Dean starts, Konsa starts. I think that's basically, yeah. Rogers is going to be in a very advanced role in that team, I think. No Bailey, no Watkins. There you go. So I think most of the major assets start other than Watkins. But yeah, most of the Man City players start. All of the Villa players start as well. Nah, I still don't think Duran... Like, I need to see Duran start a couple more in a row, to be honest. Oh, I missed it, by the way. Robin become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, Robin. And I've just seen a super chat from Robin saying, Merry Christmas, Ross. Love every aspect of your streams and videos. You're a gem. You're a gem, Robin. Thank you for that very generous super chat. And thank you for becoming a member as well. What a superstar. Have you ever been to Villa Park? Yes, I watched Man United versus Villa earlier in the season with FPL Pickle. It was 0-0. It was such a boring game. But yeah, I have been to Villa Park. It's a nice stadium. It's a nice stadium. What's happening with Cunha? Thought he was banned, so I transferred him out. He is going to be banned, but the ban isn't in effect yet, so we think he's going to probably start on Sunday. What was the reasoning for doing FPL Therapy on a separate channel rather than this one? There was a few reasons. I think I just want to separate the content. Like, people want podcast content. They subscribe to FPL Therapy. My voice just broke. The other thing is, like, it just diversifies the risk a little bit. Like, I never spoke about this, but about 8 or 9 months ago, YouTube just kept taking all of the money that I earned through ad revenue and said that it was due to invalid traffic. They kept saying that it was like that I was artificially boosting my views, which, I mean, you guys are sat here. There's 2,000 of you sat here right now. You guys know that I would never bother artificially increasing my views. And my views aren't even that high in comparison to other FPL content creators. So, like, I'm definitely not doing that. But basically, there was like a 4 or 5 month spell where they just took all of my money. And YouTube, there's no one that you can contact to do that. They just send you automated replies. It's one of the the bad things about YouTube is that they don't really listen to you when you've got issues. So it also diversifies. Like, what happens if someone hacks my FPL Raptor YouTube channel? Well, I'm done then at that stage, right? So I think it's nice to also have that additional revenue stream and that additional channel where if FPL Raptor ever went terribly wrong and like it got hacked or it got banned or whatever, then I can obviously I can stick to my FPL therapy, which I'm already building a following up for. You guys also don't need to know this, but like if I ever want to work with brands and stuff, it's nice to offer them a separate entity in FPL therapy. Like if brands don't want to work with Raptor, but they do with therapy, they're sort of separate. So I just think for all of those reasons, it just makes it nice to have them as two separate concepts and two separate sort of entities. But yeah, there's a lot of merit to doing it on Raptor. Like if I'd have released all of these podcasts on FPL Raptor, not only would my subscriber count have grown on FPL Raptor, but I would have also probably got more views because I already have that strong base of subscribers. So yeah, honestly, as someone said, from like a business perspective, it just made sense to have it on a separate channel, I think. But yeah, YouTube are terrible. Literally, YouTube can steal all of your ad revenue and you can't complain. I don't think they do it to be shady or anything like that, but it's just like there's nothing you can do. Like recently, they just took £20 from me last month because of invalid traffic, whatever that means. And they can take a lot more than that, by the way. It was thousands of pounds that I lost from YouTube from them just for no reason, just taking all of my money for months. So, FPL isn't working for me. Anyone know how to fix it? It's because the deadline's gone, mate. FPL will be working in about 25 to 30 minutes again. Who needs a business degree or life knowledge when I can listen to Ross? It's funny, I've never taken business or economics, but I know a lot about finance, money, and businesses just from the last few years. Like I absolutely love the business side of YouTube, and yeah. Set up a GoFundMe page. We got you. Oh no, I wouldn't do that in a million years. Do you still teach? Yeah, this is actually my final year of teaching. So I've been lecturing for 4 years now. I'm entering my 5th year of lecturing. I just finished my final ever term 1 lecturing. I lecture in sports psychology at university. So yeah, I'm finding it a bit. I love teaching. Like my PhD, I'm going to be glad to finish my PhD. My PhD is so long, but the teaching element, I love teaching. I would teach forever if I could. Like I just find it so fun. I kind of feel like I'm teaching on this channel as well. Not all the time, and a lot of what I say is absolute nonsense. But I feel like my calling in life, like my vocation, the thing that I was born to do was to teach. I love teaching. There's nothing better than when you're explaining something to someone and like they finally get it and they're like, oh, that's a really interesting point. I love that. How many students do you have? Oh, like 300, 350 students that I teach. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Do you get recognized when teaching? So much. I get recognized so much more than you'd think. Like, I'm not famous remotely, right? I'm not trying to blow out proportion how well known I am, but I get recognized so much. It's ridiculous. It's happening like more and more. It's crazy. You just wouldn't expect it, but yeah. Professor Egghead, I just love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you. Any tips for a dissertation, Ross? Start early, small steps, set yourself small goals. The most difficult thing with the dissertation is starting. Like you'll keep putting off the starting element. And then once you've started, you'll keep putting off making progress. Just set yourself like half an hour here, half an hour there to work on the dissertation. Like don't view it as an overall dissertation. That's when you start to go wrong. I would just set like little targets here and there. The hardest thing is always getting started with stuff. It's the same with my PhD stuff. Whenever I need to get started on a new thing, it's always that, oh, I can't be bothered to start the process. But once you start, it's not that bad. How to pick your university. I've got offers. Think about everything. Think about what is the student satisfaction rate? How far away from home is it? Are they good for sports if you play sports? Don't just look at which is the best ranked university. Think about everything on offer there for you. Do you know what? I've got a really good tip for you. So if you're struggling to start a project, this is obviously more applicable for those of you in like university or school or whatever, but let's say even at work, if you're struggling to start, I'll tell you what you do. If you can buy a timer, I actually used to have a sand timer, which are really cool, like just a timer or an egg timer, whatever you want. Some sort of visual timer is really good. Or what you do is you open up your timer and you set a 5-minute timer and you say to yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I am going to work. And that's it. I only have to work for 5 minutes, but for the next 5 minutes, I will work. unless you literally don't actually start the work. And I've done this a few times. Unless you literally don't start, you never stop after 5 minutes. Because once you've done 5 minutes of work, you're like, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. And then you often continue working. So that would be my tip to you, is set a 5-minute timer, do 5 minutes of work. And usually after the end of the 5 minutes, you sort of carry on. Every timer you have is an egg timer. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ross, you're such a star and a wonderful person. Always fun listening to you, mate. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. My dissertation is due in April and I've not started. That's absolutely fine. You've got plenty of time. Start now. Now. Do it now. Start with me on in the background. Put me on in the background. Start your dissertation. Get it done. Any plans for another fan meetup anytime soon? I actually tried in December, but the venue that I used, they just weren't free. I've got a couple of options. I might do one at the end of the season, or I might do one in January. But yeah, I will do another fan meetup. I say fan meetup. It's not just for fans. I'll do another FPL meetup soon, for sure. But yeah, I'm thinking it will be in... I reckon it'll be in May or April. I'll do one. I work for like 30 minutes, then take a break, but the break is like 2 or 3 hours. Honestly, do you know what the best amount of time to work is for? Apparently it's around 20 to 30 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break. What I will say is, if you're going to work for 20 to 30 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, the 5-minute break can't be going on your phone. Because that 5-minute break then won't be a 5-minute break. And also, it sort of distracts you a little bit. If you start going on social media, seeing what other people are doing, scroll through, like your 5-minute break should be getting up, stretching your legs, having a drink, and then sitting back down and working. But yeah, 20 to 30-minute spells, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't really want to do like 2 or 3 hours of work. That never goes particularly well, honestly. Ross, what do you think of Wildcard 18 versus 19? I think it depends on your team. Wildcard 18 makes a lot of sense, I think, because a lot of good players have good fixtures. But if your team already looks good for 18, then just delay it until 19. I used to teach too. That's why I prefer presentation exams instead of writing exams. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't disagree. The players who have home games, the points are doubled. Is that true? No, not true. It might be for FPL Challenge, actually. I've not been playing Challenge, but that sounds like a very FPL Challenge thing. Do one for your birthday, Frosty says. I could do one at the end of March. When is my birthday this year? I don't actually know. What day of the week is it? My birthday this year is on a Saturday. I could do an FPL meetup on my actual birthday. What? Is there a deadline on my birthday? Oh my God, is there going to be a deadline stream on my birthday? I've never actually had a deadline stream on my birthday. It's always out by like 1 or 2. Oh, I can't check. I'll check once the website updates. Yeah. I could do one for my birthday. There's probably a deadline on my birthday. Unless there's like a... There are international breaks actually in March. I don't know. Chips in a breakfast fry-up, yes or no? I will say no if you're having it for breakfast. If it's just a fry-up, then yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that, Frosty. Just want to know if there's one on... I don't know how I find that on either of the websites, though, Frosty. If someone could just tell me if there's a deadline on the 29th of March, that would be great. Someone else can find it out. That'd be fantastic. Hash browns are a big yes. I'd like to muller 40 hash browns right now. There's no games that weekend. Think it's an FA Cup weekend. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, no birthday deadline stream for me or birthday meetup then. Of course. The 1 year where my birthday's on a Saturday, we have no bloody deadline stream. We have 10 players in common among our teams. I went for Rodgers over Enzo, though. You probably outscore me. I'm sure Rodgers will do really well today. What are your plans today with Pickle? Pickle's not with me today, so nothing. Chips with curry sauce. Love chips with curry sauce. Yeah, no Prem games that weekend. Okay. Well, I'll have my... To be fair, I'll have my birthday off then. That's quite nice. This means I can do something for my birthday. I might have a weekend away somewhere then. Ooh, this is exciting. I'm gonna voice note Pickle before. Actually, I'm just gonna mess. No, actually, I'll mess her in a bit. Me and Pickle might head away for the weekend then. I shall look into the deadlines. I've been wanting to do like a spa getaway in England somewhere, or maybe I've been wanting to go to Copenhagen. Maybe I could go to Copenhagen for the weekend for my birthday in March. Anyone that goes to Copenhagen, is March a good time to go to Copenhagen? Who knows? Come to Edinburgh for a weekend. I actually do really want to go to Edinburgh for a weekend. Maybe. Have to go out. Take care, Ross, and have a great Christmas with Pickle. Catch you soon, no doubt, mate. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you so much. Absolute superstar. Any new movies to recommend? I haven't really watched any new movies. No, sadly not. I've just finished watching the Harry Potters with FPL Pickle, though. That was fun. Regarding Rodgers versus Enzo, it depends if Chelsea can crack the defence early. Yeah, I agree with that. Ooh, my computer's struggling. I'm going to test a theory. 1 second. Let me test a theory. Right. I'm testing something out. I need to know something. I've unplugged my camera from being on charge. If this now stabilizes it, then I have sorted the issue with... Well, I at least know what the issue with my camera is. If it doesn't, then it's a computer issue. I think I know what the issue is. So, I can't charge my camera whilst I'm recording. That is what is causing my computer and camera to struggle, I think. Because now that is fully stabilized. There shouldn't be any lag or camera's frames being dropped. Yeah, I know what the issue is. I think. Wait, I'll give it 5 minutes and see. Because it was fine at the start of the stream when I wasn't charging it. I then had to put it on charge and it caused issues. No. Okay, scrap that. It's lagging out. Okay, it's not what I thought then. It just dropped so many frames. Okay, I lied. It's my computer then. I probably need to do all of the updates. I've not updated my computer in a long time. Oh dear, it's gone even worse. Stop. Just behave yourself for once, god damn it. I spoke to you, so it's actually made it so much worse. Do you know what? There we go. Ross, if I win FPL, can I get on the pod next year? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely can. Right, do you know what? I'm taking this as a sign. I'm freezing. The egg's back out. I'm very hungry. I'm going to have to love you and leave you, chat. Oh, my camera's off. Okay. I wish you all the best for this weekend. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will be back on Sunday for a video. And then I will also be back on Tuesday for FPL Therapy. And then there will be a Boxing Day deadline stream as well. I look forward to all of that. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas if you don't watch any of my content before Christmas. And then I will catch you very, very soon. And then we've got the new year as well. But yeah, hopefully you get a green arrow. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll catch you soon. Bye, guys.